MHSAA football state finals are brought to you by the Sparrow Health System. We're on to day 2 of championship weekend, and Division 7 kicks off the day. The new Lothrop Hornets are 2 years removed from their first title in school history. They come to the field hungry for a second, but opposing them is Division 7 royalty, the Gladiators of Traverse City St. Francis, looking for their first title in more than a decade. It's the Division 7 state championship game, and it's now on Fox Sports Detroit. Hello and good morning to you. We're pleased to have you tuned in on this championship Saturday. On day 1, we crowned 4 champions in Divisions 2, 4, 6, and 8. Today, we'll crown 4 more in 1, 3, 5, and 7. I'm Johnny Kane, joined alongside by my partner, Rob Rubick. Does it get any better than this, partner?
Well, you look at Division 7, the game we have here, Johnny, you have historically one of the powers in Division 7. And Traverse City St. Francis, over the last 6 years, New Lothrop's really become the bully on the block.
No question about it. Let's get to know these schools a little bit better. Those who will represent D7. Traverse City St. Francis making the trek from right near the pinky of the mitten, about a 4.5-hour drive to Detroit. Gladiators facing the Hornets from New Lothrop, about 90 miles northwest of Detroit. Let's start with St. Francis. This is a football program built on championship pedigree, but hey, they started this season 1-2. Not a lot of people thought they'd get here. How do they cap it off with the title?
I think in order to get the W today, it starts with the offense of Traverse City. They have to possess the football. New Lothrop has shown they can score a lot of points, but if you can keep them on the sidelines, that's the first thing you have to do offensively. And they have the weapons to do it, led by Schmuckel, number 41. Aiden is a physical type of fullback, can make big plays. But what they also have to do, Johnny, is defensively they have to be gap sound up front. They really cannot allow Will Muron to get loose in that secondary.
Well, you touched on it. Will Muron and certainly the quarterback Cam Orr. Those are the two guys that are really formidable foes against this Gladiators team. What makes these guys so tough?
Thunder and lightning. I mean, you look at Cam Orr's 215 pounds as a quarterback. He also plays defensive end. That shows you how physical he plays. And then Will Muron, he was part of the 4x100 state championship relay team. And he has speed to break it and get deep. So Traverse City, we talked about gap conscious. They have to be, because New Lothrop has that type of talent on that offense to go deep anytime.
And some of those guys on this roster obviously have some state title experience. New Lothrop looking for its 2nd championship in the last 3 years. Going to be a real chess match to watch play out. And Rob Rubick is no rook when it comes to covering high school football. We'll have the opening kick next.
Send a message right now. This is where you make a name for yourself right now. Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win. Hey, we fired up. Hey, we fired up.
We gather under hazy night. Rain or shadow cast and floodlights applaud for this padded battle.
And brothers shoot up in armor and dance with the gridiron in unison under the spotlight, holding up their team, careful not to let them fall. Brotherhood is an equal effort, a give and take. If there's a single wrong beat, there's a chance of being consumed by flames,
Or being devoured by an opponent's rabid will.
What you don't see is a season of long days, aching muscles drenched in sweat.
What you don't see is the bone-shattering stomps of triumph, followed by slow grind and hard fall before any confetti can shower.
What you get is glory mixed with unforgivable pain,
A feeling you chase for the rest of your life. Tied to one another by battle cry, this game is a rite of passage, a test of loyalty to self.
to team. In the heat of adversity,
This night can turn blisters into gold.
turf and the sanction, cleats from dirt razors,
It's our Hermes winged boots. And we all could fly. We could feel it by the thunder.
Here we go from Ford Field. It is the Division 7 state championship on this, the 4th weekend in January, believe it or not. Johnny Kane, Rob Rubick, and Brooke Fletcher with you. New Lothrop won the toss. They will defer. St. Francis will possess the football first. And for more on St. Francis and the Sellers legacy, let's send it down to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, for St. Francis head coach Josh Sellers, winning state championships runs in his family. His dad, Larry Sellers, used to be the coach back in the day and took home a couple of state titles in 1992 and 1999. But guys, the legacy continued when Josh Sellers took over as head coach, and he took home a couple of state titles of his own in 2003 and 2005. Now, Josh said that his dad's coaching style has had a huge influence on the way he coaches. If the players that played for his dad watch the games now, they would recognize almost every play because that's how similar the play calling is, guys. Now, Rubes, I know you have a tie to Larry Sellers, right?
Yeah, Brooke, when I first started doing this, it was back for PASS, Pro-Am Sports, before Fox took over. In 1992, it was one of the first games I called. Traverse City St. Francis took on Harperwood's Bishop Gallagher, and they were a big underdog, and Coach Sellers right there, he came away with the victory. And I can remember I actually called him later on just to congratulate him on his win. He was so thrilled that I called. We ended up talking for about 20 minutes about the game, and you know, it just runs in the family. They all have it in their blood. And then that young man there, Clint Galvis, I say young because I started doing his games about 6 years ago when he got here, and I thought he was one of the players that went down on the field. He looked extremely young, but he's a phys ed health teacher, so he's a man after my own heart, and he has put together quite a program, Johnny.
I love it. It's going to be a great chess match to watch unfold here today. And it is St. Francis with the football first. And a little bit of running room up past the 20-yard line. I want to say one more thing about Larry Sellers. Remember, he won a mythical state championship back in 1974, obviously before they went on and played in the postseason. So good to have him in attendance today. There's Charlie Peterson, the talented quarterback for this St. Francis offense. You can see what he's done this season.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Sellers. He loves his intelligence and his size on the field before the game. 6'3", 205. He is very well put together. Throws better than people give him credit for. We could see that today.
They call him the real deal. Really like his frame as a quarterback at 6'3", and we have a whistle. It looks like defense may have jumped.
And that's, you got to see that ahead of time. Lothrop realizes that this offensive line will start in the up position on the first hard count.
Encroachment defense.
They will put their hand down in the dirt. We're going to look here on the replay. They go down, and that draws the defensive line. And that's just a little bit of forward field jitters. That defensive line is keyed up. They're ready to get across, become physical, and it's a free 5 for Traverse City St. Francis. And this is what they like, Johnny. They need to stay ahead of the sticks. They're a ball-controlled, run-based team. So that gives you a free 5 and makes it a lot easier to move the chains.
Yeah, double tight, full house backfield. You're not going to see any players with 20 carries today. They'll rotate as many as 6 different kids in the backfield. This time, they hand it off to Owen Mueller, and a nice chunk for Mueller to move the sticks. Let's take a look at the starters for the Gladiators from St. Francis here on offense. Nice offensive line. Have to have, obviously, a good offensive line if you're going to run the football the way they like to. And again, talented backs. You mentioned Aiden Schmuckel in our open. Muzlakovic, one of the tight ends. Good catcher as well. 1st and 10. St. Francis with the football at the 32-yard line. Aiden Schmuckel and Gabe Olivier in the backfield. And the handoff goes to Olivier, and Olivier picks up 8, maybe 9 yards on 1st down.
Gabe Olivier on the carry.
And a look at the defensive starters for the Hornets from New Lothrop. Again, Cam Orr, talented defensive end, all-state player. Will Muron, the same from his linebacker position. Alec Mangino, a talented linebacker for him as well. And their secondary ain't half bad, Rob Rubick.
No, they don't let, very rarely does anyone get past them. Their front's so good, they can really play soft coverage.
2nd and 8. Handoff with a little bit of running room. And knocked out to the right side, Aiden Schmuckel, the senior captain. It's a 3-year starter on varsity. And so far, St. Francis has been able to move the sticks. 13 yards on the carry.
Yeah, anytime you run an offense like this with the T, it's kind of an abbreviated T backfield with 2 running backs. And there's a lot of crossing action, a lot of pulling by the guards. It takes a while for a defense to get used to the speed and the timing of it because you can't simulate it in practice. So New Lothrop has to settle in and get used to seeing it, and they should get a little bit better at defending. If not, it could be a long afternoon.
Handoff right up the middle, Aiden Schmuckel. And still moving his feet, churning up near the 40-yard line before it's whistled dead. You mentioned they want to be able to run the football, control the clock. He's going to get 5 yards on first down. If you're doing that on first down, you'll get a lot closer to your objective. Look at the school profile for St. Francis. They've hosted the National Cherry Festival going back to 1925. And how about this? Largest producer of tart cherries in the entire U.S. of A.
I'm not going to brag, but one year I was at the Cherry Festival as a guest, and I won the pie eating contest. With hands behind my back. Yeah, I did some work.
No, did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, my God.
I got a trophy. I kept it.
Aiden Schmuckel, the ball carrier. And how about the pursuit from that Hornet defense, able to string him out. He can never get to the edge. Carson Mulcahy, the senior defensive back, able to ride him out of bounds. Loss of 1 on the play.
Well, we're going to look. You're going to see number 8, Will Muron. He does a nice job of really flying up from his safety position. He's cheating on the outside to start with, and he's the one that really forces Aiden Schmuckel to bubble outside. Now, Will Muron, they move him around. He'll play outside backer, but he plays a lot of safety as well. That time, he was cheating up on the edge.
So on 3rd and 6, inside 10 minutes to play, opening quarter, the Division 7 state final. Handoff, Owen Mueller. Mueller's going to be stuffed short of the first down.
All right, Johnny, first big decision for Coach Sellers. You've moved the ball down the field. You're getting chunk plays 6, 8, 9 yards early. Now it's getting a little bit tighter. We talked about New Lothrop has seen it. You have a 4th down and 4. You're on a plus 41-yard line. Do you come out here and do hard count and maybe just try to draw them off, take the penalty, and then punt? Or do maybe you can drop your quarterback and do a quick punt as well? So he has options to do. You see the play clock's running down, though, so whatever it is, they're going to have to hurry.
Well, I think this is a great opportunity to send a message to your opposition. He said, we're going to go for it on 4th and 4. We got something cooking. Owen Mueller, Aiden Schmuckel in the backfield. Charlie Peterson fakes the handoff, little play action. Coming this side and just overthrows. He had 2 guys in the vicinity, Josh Groves and Gabe Olivier, but it sailed on both of them. So New Lothrop going to possess the football, pretty decent starting field position.
Yeah, and it's a tight end to your right, and they also leak the play side halfback. What I don't like about this is there's no spacing. You have both receivers are 5 yards from each other, and that brings the defenders with it. You need one of the, obviously either ran it too deep or too shallow, because you can't have that type of spacing. You have to have an ability for the quarterback to give him an area to drop the ball. So, and also on the other side, the Hornets very well defended by them.
So Cam Orr in the backfield. He moves Will Muron, number 8, to his right. Orr back to pass. And already looking down the field, he's got his target. It's Cannon Cromwell, the 6-foot junior. And he was wide open. A big play on first down. We're going to give him 23 yards on that one, make it 32 yards.
Well, you're going to see Cromwell's going to come right here. He's going to run a seam route down the field. And that's just, a nice adjustment. And that's why it's important for a quarterback to give it some air, Johnny. That was not a great throw. But by giving it a little bit of air, it allows Cromwell to adjust to the ball, open his hips, reach back, and make the play.
Orr this time hands it off to Will Muron. Bounce it out to the right side. Muron with the burst inside the 10 to 5. He's in for the touchdown. 2 plays, 6 points. New Lothrop.
On the run for the touchdown, Hornets.
You're going to watch Will Muron. He's going to come right here. And they're just going to be a little underneath read play. And they give it to him. It's read by Cam Orr, and this is what we talked about in the open. This is a 4x100 guy. He has great speed, and we're going to stop it right here. So now we're going to take a look. This is who we're going to isolate on right here. I'm getting it all. There we go, right here. Watch him. This is a read, and he gets it. He flattens out quickly and gets a nice block down the field that time, and then he's able to get to the edge, and this is what speed does. There was really should have been about a 6-yard gain, Johnny, but with his type of speed, he was able to get the edge.
And the Hornets going for 2. Cam Orr, credit to St. Francis defense for straightening him up. It was Joey Donahue, the first man in on the tackle, but 6-0. It only took him 2 plays. They have a quick strike offense, and Will Muron has announced his presence here in the Division 7 state final.
Staying early, they got to take a 6-0 lead after a nice run by Will Muron, but also good job blocking. You're going to see, we're going to take a look right here. They're going to be able to pull and and trap the end. All right, let it go. And they do a good job. You watch Birch come out. It's a little pin and pull. When the end crashes down, he just reels on him, Johnny, and he turns him in. He's got the option. If the end boxes up the field, he's going to kick him out. But that time, they just tucked him in, and Miron did a nice job. And that's just an athlete. It really shouldn't have been a touchdown in that situation. There were defenders there, but he's able to use his speed to threaten the edge, and then he put his foot in the ground, and he went north and south, was able to get underneath the defender.
Well, that Will Miron, again, he's received a couple NAIA, a couple Division II offers. Coach Galvis said, I don't know a college football player if Will Miron isn't one. This kid is special. We saw it. 59 yards in 2 plays, just 29 seconds elapsed off the clock in New Lothrop with a 6-0 victory or lead.
And I think this is why Josh Sellers decided to go for it on 4th and 4. We look back to his decision. He realizes that New Lothrop can put points on the board, so he's going to have to try to keep serve and get scores as well. He had the opportunity on the plus side of the 50 to go for it. They didn't converge, and New Lothrop showed what they can do offensively. Quick strike.
St. Francis Gavin Nicodemus gets it at the 34-yard line. That's where they'll start with the football. How about 2 years ago? Remember this one?
Oh, what a game.
State title game.
Madison Heights Madison, and they had Brown, the quarterback, who had transferred from Catholic Central. And I called this game, I was tired of talking, and that's hard for me. There was so much scoring in that game. What an entertaining football game.
So this will be the second time St. Francis possesses the football. Aiden Schmucklin, Gabe Olivier in the backfield. And again, I think they get New Lothrop to jump. Well, it might have been Jacob Burgess, defensive tackle.
Yeah, and Jacob's got to realize they did that on the first drive.
Encroachment. Defense. Still first down.
Part of their cadence is they set with their hands on their elbows on their knees, and then they go down on the first sound, and it's drawing the defenders off. Now that's not the first play of the game. You kind of excuse it. You're 8-9 plays deep. You got to do a better job. Hold your water. Be more disciplined.
1st and 5. Charlie Peterson hands the football off. It's Aiden Schmucklin. And a nice job by the Hornets defense. Swarming, not much doing on that one. Going to give him a yard on the carry.
And that's just the ISO play. What they're going to do with the 2 backs, they take the right side halfback. He's just going to run and lead through, and then Schmuckel gets behind him, but there's no movement at the point of attack. No, Lothrop won the battle up front. They stood the offensive lineman up. We talked about Traverse City having gap integrity. That time, New Lothrop did a good job, kept hands free, and just really stifled the play.
And Julius Garza did a nice job staying with his man and then able to absorb the ball carrier.
There you go. There you go.
Peterson pitches it. Owen Mueller out to the left side trying to get to the edge. He's going to be knocked out of bounds short of first down. Julius Garza made the play one more time.
Well, a good job in pursuit. Ryan Henning, the left guard, was trying to get outside to get the hook block, but he didn't have quite enough speed. We're going to look at Garza coming up, really finishing the block, or tackle rather, doing a nice job. There's a good look at Julius.
Yeah, held him to a 2-yard gain, so that brings up 3rd and 2. Charlie Peterson now, if you looked up, he's lined up as a wide receiver. This is going to be direct snap. A little bit of a wildcat, and they get it. So direct snap to Aiden Schmuckel, and the senior captain moves the sticks. Again, New Lothrop understood they were going to do some different things. And again, the first wrinkle from St. Francis.
All right, it's just going to come here, and we're going to see a nice lead block. It's just an ISO. Let it go. And he gets good blocks at the point, and then a good seal block inside, as well as Jack Beckwood was able to take his defensive end and run him down inside and stay on it, which allowed the play to bubble over his back.
13-yard carry to move the chains. 5 minutes elapsed here in the opening quarter. Peterson fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself up across the 40. Up to the 39-yard line.
Ball carrier is Charlie.
We'll give him 7. Julius Garza and Alec Mangino in on the stop for the Hornets.
So let's keep an eye on Joey Donahue, number 51. He's going to pull, and he's going to come through. You just got a little glimpse of him here.
2nd and 3.
We get a better look here. Watch, he goes up. Now, he really needs to seal this and stay with that. Because you can see, by letting that guy go, Garza was able to get back in on the play. When you pull through and you get on a linebacker, you got to turn and put your back to the hole and pin him.
Peterson hands it off. Mueller stuffed. Again, Alec Mangino in on the stop, number 5, 175-pound senior. They call him the anchor of the defense, and he anchored it right there. That's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, New Lothrop right now, you can see that's just a nice job by Jacob Burgess getting in quickly. He gets penetration, and that allows Alex Mangino, who gets to play linebacker next to his brother Garrett, does a good job filling. You see number 6, Cam Moore also. They're very tough defensively now. Once again, almost in the same position where they went for it on 4th down. Now they have a 3rd and 1.
1 of 2 on 3rd down thus far. Peterson hands it off. It's Schmuckel. And Schmuckel's going to have enough. They will move the sticks. We'll give him 3 on the carry.
First down.
This is what we talked about in the open, Johnny. We said that if Traverse City had a chance to win this game, they're going to have to possess the football. Now, I didn't add, I'm not sure I did, is they have to also score in those possessions, because just putting a lot of time of possession on the stat sheet doesn't win football games. They possessed it on the first drive, but ended up not getting it on 4th down. This time, they really need to finish this with a touchdown, because they've seen what New Lothrop can do offensively.
Peterson hands it off. Gabe Olivier. Olivier moving his feet up near the 1st down sticks. On 1st and 10. Picks up 9.
All right, I want you to watch Joey Donahue. I think he's right here. He's going to come, and he's going to be able to turn up, let it go. He does a good job of getting up the field. And look he hits, and watch what I like right here. Stays with it, keeps pushing. That gets you 4 or 5 more yards, because of the second effort. He doesn't get a great seal on him, but he keeps fighting. He gets part of the push in the pile, so that's a nice job by Donahue getting out in space and making a good block.
2nd and short, handoff right up the middle. That's going to move the sticks again. You're talking with Coach Gallis from North Lothrop. He said, defensively, we understand they're going to try to do a lot of different things. They have somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 different formations they'd like to run. They try to get numbers, try to get us out of position. But again, even playing them back in 2018, he said this is a team that's always in the right position. They're disciplined, well coached.
First down.
He echoed the same thoughts to me. He said, you have to earn everything you get against Traverse City St. Francis. They don't give you anything. They're going to be in position. There's no blown coverages or guys going through wrong gaps.
Handoff. Olivier. And Olivier, again, good chunk yardage on 1st down. Good methodical drive. 5 yards on 1st down for Olivier.
Brought down by
Approaching 3 minutes to play here in the opening quarter.
It's funny, you talk about the receivers running a lot and the running backs doing a lot of yards, but with Traverse City, they're guards, and especially Joey Donahue. He's pulling almost every play. They're a little bit left-handed because they like to pull him and get him out leading the play. He's the right guard.
10th play of this drive. Olivier one more time, swallowed up by Isaiah Pasick, the 6'4", 265-pound sophomore, mind you. Sophomore starting defensive tackle for New Lothrop. You know you're doing something right.
Listen to this, physical.
Hat on hat.
Isaiah Pasick. He's a load now. That's no hummingbird. That's a big boy.
That he is.
Look at that. Look at the freaking guns. It looks like Matt Shepard a little bit.
I was just going to say, he's got those Shep buys. 3rd and 1. 11th play of this drive. Can St. Francis answer? Olivier, one more time, right up at the sticks. They're going to give it to him. So good, tough running before Alec Mangino brought him down.
Alec Mangino is number 5 with the stop.
St. Francis, again, started this season 1-2, but then they got it going. They had the forfeit against Oscoda, of course, in the regional final, and then the Cass City semifinal, single-digit victory.
He said that was a tough one. He said that was a very physical, well-fought game. He said he's not even sure, he being Josh Sellers, if they should have gotten a win, but he said they were able to make some plays when they needed to towards the end and secure it.
Handoff to Mueller. Mueller corralled at the 6-yard line. Let's take a look at it. 1 week ago.
Against Cass City, they need to get a stop facing a full house T team. 4th and goal. They allow him to get in, but then right back here, Charlie Peterson's able to make a play. They love this tight end crossing route. And I think that was Josh Groves he finds for the game-winning touchdown. Yep, number 22, and that's a play we'll see here today. That's his bread and butter pass play.
Charlie Peterson lined up from the wide receiver position, and they go back to Aiden Schmuckel. So the second time we've seen this formation, this time Schmuckel able to pick up a couple of yards, move it inside the 5-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and goal. Now you have options. You have a quarterback that can throw, and you haven't shown a pass play. They have the double tight end where they cross them, and they get lost in space a little bit. They're going to take a timeout to discuss it here.
I'll tell you what, 3rd down forthcoming. Decision time. St. Francis trying to answer the bell, trailing 6-0 here early. Tune in tonight to watch your Detroit Pistons take on Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers. That's on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Coverage begins with Pistons Live at 7:30. Tip-off following tonight at 8 o'clock. That's tonight, Pistons and Sixers on Fox Sports Detroit Plus.
Johnny, my oldest son, Drew, is the biggest Pistons fan. He said, I don't care if they win a game, Dad. I love what they're doing. He says they've gutted it,
Smart
they're
kid.
rebuilding it, and he said they get some great young players, and he's so excited. He watches every game, and I'm thinking, boy, you're a big NBA fan. I mean, but yeah, he just loves it.
Olivier. Gabe Olivier right near the goal line. Is he in? He's in.
Yeah, this is a close one now, but who has the best view in the entire stadium is the line judge. He was standing on the goal line, so we're going to look here. This is just an ISO. Lead one back through. Olivier's the second back coming through, and we're going to look at it on replay.
Again, scoring plays can be reviewed.
Which they probably will. I'm guaranteeing they will on this. He's met in a hole by Garrett Mangino. And it's impossible to tell from that view.
But like you said, the line judge was right on it, ran right down the line.
Good block, lead block by Schmuckel. He's met. Mangino really stands him up.
That's close.
Yeah, it is. You cannot tell from the views we have. Those replays will not show. We don't have the pylon cam.
Well, again, in those situations.
Yeah, they're going to absolutely review this, and they should. I'm just not sure they can change it. And the line judge ruled it a touchdown, so I really believe this is going to stand. There's no definitive view that we have that shows he was short. You know, logic kind of tells you that, geez, it didn't look like he got there from our views, but it can be optical illusion if you don't have the right angle of the view.
Yep, and unless it's conclusive. Again, they're going to be looking at the exact same angles that we see here. So if they don't see anything that conclusively says he did not break the plane, then that touchdown rule will stand. And again, got to give credit to the line judge. He had the best view in the house. Met it about the 2, driving.
Boy, you know, right there, if he's in, you know what? That view there looks like he did get to the line, so I have to believe this is going to stand.
If this does, this is a great answer by St. Francis, because as I mentioned, New Lothrop had the football for a total of 29 seconds, and they put the first touchdown on the board. So, again, you can have sustained drives, but you got to make sure they come out and they end up with points.
The verdict is?
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
There you go.
And I think they got it right for what the views they had and with the best view by the line judge who made the call. So what a drive answering. And this is we talked about, Johnny. You have to possess the ball, but you also have to finish the drives with points. They were unable on the first drive. That time they did. Looks like they're going to kick here.
Yep, Bryce Kemp in to try the point after to give the Gladiators a lead. Nicely done. Came in 36 of 36 on extra point tries. We'll give him 37 of 37. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah. Josh Sellers said he doesn't have a big leg. He just kind of pooches it through, but they all go through. And he said that's all we need.
So 14 plays, 67-yard drive. How about that? It elapsed 7 minutes and 40 seconds of game clock. And St. Francis with the lead, 7-6.
We got a good one.
Semifinal game from a week ago, New Lothrop and Schoolcraft.
And we haven't seen a lot.
Area.
I'm sorry, Johnny, but we haven't seen a lot of Cam Moore running the ball. You will. He can throw it now. He doesn't throw it as well as the quarterback they had when they won the state championship in Avery Moore, who's now at Grand Valley. But he's a very capable thrower, but he can do that. He's a physical runner. And there's a look at Clint Galvis. Looking pretty dapper, huh? I'm not sure about the white in the wintertime on the pants. We may have to have a stylist talk to Clint, but he can pull it off.
Hey, when you're 34-2 over the last 3 years, you can wear white after Labor Day.
Oh.
Or Memorial Day, what is it? It's one of those days you're not supposed to, but hey, you get away with whatever you want, Coach Galvis.
Well, let's see what his offense can do with their second possession. It's really panning out exactly what we thought we would see, Johnny. The quick strike, high potent offense of New Lothrop against the possession offense of Traverse City St. Francis.
Bryce Kemp in to kick it away, and he'll go deep. Will Muron, Julius Garza, and Raphael Woods back deep for the Hornets. And it will be Julius Garza, and Garza has some running room. Garza, it's a one-man foot race, and nobody's gone to get him. Touchdown, Hornets.
Touchdown, New Lothrop.
Well, this is a really nice job by Garza on this return. And what he's able to do, as I like, all right, let's pause it right here, if you will. He takes the ball and he goes here, but then he does a nice job of cutting back, and all the flow of the players is going this way. So let's watch. He gets him going to his left when he initially starts out, but then he sees the hole. And what a great job blocking when only one left is the kicker, number 72, and he gets nipped a little bit. You know, we're up here in the booth, and I had the arms held straight early, Johnny, because you could see from up here what was developing, and Julius Garza did a nice job, but hats off to the kick return blocks that we saw there.
I mean, how much speed is on this new Lothrop team? We saw Will Muron with that great burst, and Julius Garza.
They were the 4x100 champs, so in Class D, so they have that type of speed.
Muron in the backfield. Instead, it'll be Orr, and guess what? Too easy. He finds Julius Garza. So Garza takes it in for the kick return touchdown and adds the 2-point try. And just like that, New Lothrop on top 14-7 here in the first quarter.
Let's look at this 2-point conversion. This is pretty, this kind of Tim Tebow-ish. You're going to see him ride it. This is an RPO. He's got a choice to run it there if it's open, but instead he just pulls up, he being Cam Orton, finds Julius Garza. All right, right here, look at that. He stops, a little bit of a push-up by Garza, but that's all, everything's, you know, it's all fair for receivers. We get grabbed and held, so, but really a well-designed play. Really, 3 options, or 2 options. He can, actually 3, he can give it on the feed to the back, he can run it himself, or he can jump pass, and that's really nice and read perfectly by Cam Moore. And Julius Garza responds for all 8 points, and Clint Galvis. There he goes. See, when you're 35, you can do that. I guarantee the coach in my high school, Mike Smith, who's pushing 6'0", is not going to be shoulder bumping anyone. But look at Clint Galvis. You know, players like that, though. I'm not going to lie. I played for Wayne Fonts back in the day when he was a DC for the Lions. I think that's what they get with Dan Campbell now. He was very energetic, running on the field practice, and guys really responded to that well. And Clint Galvis does a nice job of getting these guys ready to play. It's funny, they've had the ball for a total of 29 seconds in this counting return, maybe 30,
48
maybe
seconds,
48 seconds total, and they have 14 points.
Yeah, it really is impressive. I don't know if you could script a better start if you're Clint Galvis. Aiden Ferris hands it off. St. Francis might have a little something cooking as well. Up near the 30-yard line. So ball started with Aiden Ferris. He got it over to Anthony Piedmont, the senior captain, giving him a little bit of a boost on special teams.
He does a nice job, Garza, and right here he picks up all the black shirts, finds a crease, and then it's done. I mean, you could see it, like I said, when you're at the game, we have the view of the whole stadium. Johnny, you knew when he's on his own 35-yard line that he was going to the house with it because there was a huge seam. Really, we talk about gap integrity defensively. There was no gap integrity on the coverage team for Traverse City because you have to stay in your lane. Once you bubble around the block, they bubble in opposite directions. It creates a huge seam.
On the foul of the convoy, Owen Mueller with the carry on first down. Isaiah Pasick, big number 71, there to make the stop.
Keeping the pressure on this Traverse City offense is what New Lothrop is doing. They know they got to possess the ball, but now it puts more pressure on you because they scored again. You realize you have to score. And what they've done offensively on special teams, it kind of puts a little fear into you as an offensive coordinator, but you have to stick with what you do. You can't go out of character here. You have to run the football.
Hand up, Gabe Olivier, and Olivier with a nice chunk that's going to move the sticks. You know, again, and talking to Josh Sellers before the game, said, no, we're not necessarily looking off to break off huge gains. We want 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, they're going to need plenty of that today to keep up with this New Lothrop team, trailing 14-7 here at the end of one.
Welcome back. Cam Orr helping New Lothrop take the lead 14-7. Now Cam is working to get his first state championship in football, but he already has a state title under his belt in a different sport, wrestling. Last year he won an individual state wrestling title in the 215 pounds in Division 4. Now wrestling runs in Cam's family actually. 4 of Cam's uncles wrestled at Arizona State, 1 at MSU. And oh, you guys know the Beast, UFC champion? Well, that's one of his uncles, Dan Severn. Excuse me. Now, Cam says at holiday parties, it gets pretty interesting because they actually have wrestling competitions. Now, Johnny Rubes, you can only imagine how crazy those parties get.
Dan Severn.
Yeah,
and nobody at those parties is wrestling the Beast.
Yeah, but at my house, it's over the last drumstick of turkey. My sons and I, we go at it a little bit, but yeah,
that's great.
You got a pedigree there now.
I'm telling you, Dan Severn, UFC Hall of Famer. I mean, this is no slouch. If he wanted the last drumstick at your table,
he's one of the godfathers. Yeah, he's one of the godfathers of the UFC.
You let him have it.
Yeah.
St. Francis. 22 carries, 110 yards in the first quarter, but they trail by 7. And a handoff to Aiden Schmuckle, and Schmuckle's got running room past the 50 and gets past the would-be tackle of Ian Gross. It's Bryce Cheney who knocks him out of bounds. 17 yards, not bad.
They've run it inside a lot. You've seen him run the little trap inside. You've seen the ISO. You've seen the power off tackle. This is the complementary play that gets the edge. This is just going to be tossed to Schmuckle. He's going to, or handoff rather, and he bounces it, gets a nice lead block that time by Owen Mueller, and then he just does the rest on his own. He's great low center of gravity, good balance, and good start for this drive.
And more than 500 yards rushing coming into this game. This time it's Owen Mueller trying to get around the right side, and he's going to be swallowed up by Julius Garza. Loss of 1 on the play. So Mueller's a guy at St. Francis they feel like is their best running back.
Okay, every play can't be a touchdown. They're going to run a power right through here, let it go, and on the backside, when Mueller gets no, he's got to stick it up in there. He thinks he can bounce it. No, they have it strung out. It's only going to be a 2-yard gain, but it's not going to be a 1-yard loss. Every play is not going to develop into being a touchdown play, and Mueller's got to be a little more patient and stick it in there and take the 2 yards.
Luke Bigger now in there in the backfield. They fake it. Peterson back to pass, coming across, and unable to find Olivier over the middle.
Incomplete.
Cam Orr laid the lick on the quarterback.
A nice job by Charlie Peterson standing tall in the pocket, letting the play develop, because it's a slow developing play. Olivier's going to come from the right side all the way across the field. He's looking right. He finally clears the linebackers. He just misses them, and you have to pay the price. When you play develops slowly as a quarterback, you have to stand tall, and Cam Orr finishes the play and buries him into the ground. So good job by Charlie Peterson. Just got it. If you take that type of punishment, boy, you like the reward of the completion.
Yeah. You stand in there, get hit by a 6'4", 230-pound defensive end, you're going to feel it. Peterson over the middle, had his target through maybe a little bit behind him. So Gabe Olivier unable to corral it.
I think Peterson really thinks Olivier is going to settle down quicker, because he's really trying to deliver this ball before Olivier's even stopped. He thinks he's going to stop a little bit sooner. Olivier carries it, starts to roll inside a little bit. You know, it could be one you just sit right on the hash. Just, you got to execute. You can't have that type of play. It was there. That's 2 plays in a row that are going to be positive plays, except first one the quarterback misses, and the second one just a little miscommunication.
Well, now you got a 4th and 11 situation. It's still early in this football game. So it looks like St. Francis content to punt this one away. Will Muron back deep. Got to be careful with him back there. Muron's going to let it roll out of bounds inside the 5. So New Lothrop going to be starting back pinned deep in its own territory. It's been entertaining to this point. 38-yard punt. We'll see what New Lothrop has. They haven't possessed it yet but a minute so far, but they lead it by 7. New Lothrop with a 14-7 lead. They'll be starting from their own 4-yard line. So again, Rob, you and I talked about it. It's a quick strike offense. What we've seen to this point, they got it done on special teams. Only took them 2 plays on offense. It's our Menards big money moments. What are they, Rob?
Well, they have a lot of them, but it's Cam Moore with the throw down the field, finding the wide open receiver, Kane and Cromwell, and then you have Will Miron just kind of ad-libbing a little bit, showing why he's on the 4x100 state champion relay team with that type of burst. And this is just a great job by the kick return team creating the seam. And then Julius Garza does the rust on his own. And, you know, they haven't had the ball. But, you know,
48 seconds.
Yeah, 48 seconds in this entire game. And there's 10:54 in the first half. Yet they lead 14-7. It's not how long you have it, Johnny. It's what you do with it.
You say time of possession, oftentimes
Most misleading stat. Yeah.
Misleading. So a chance to watch this explosive offense go back to work. Cam Moore, the All-State quarterback, standing at his own goal line. Fakes the handoff, tries swinging it out to Garza. And Garza with a little bit of running room up past the 20, and here comes Garza. Garza knocked out past the 40-yard line.
Well, this is an RPO again. We saw the pop pass on the touchdown. They run an RPO. This is Cam Moore doing a nice job of getting the ball in the flat. You see the ball fake to Miron. He reads it. He sees the corner squatting, and he gets it outside. And now this is Julius Garza just showing why he was able to return that kickoff for a touchdown, showing nice speed, but good hands as well. Look at just by the fingertips, and you make plays when players make plays, and that's a good job. Coaches can coach, but players have to make plays, Johnny, if you're going to be successful.
And you got to feel good about it if you're St. Francis. You pin them back to their own goal line. From the 4-yard line, they pick up 36 yards on first down.
Yep.
We do have a timeout. St. Francis called it. They want to talk it over. They want to make sure they can get organized on the defensive side. Keep the game in front of them.
To protect the lives and property of Michigan citizens. If you're interested in learning more about the Guard, visit myarmyguard.com.
And one thing this defense wants to be able to do, try to eliminate the big plays, right? Easier said than done, but this is something they want to make sure you limit. You want to control number 6, Cam Moore, the quarterback. And, of course, the first key is Will Miron, number 8, the All-State running back. But as we've seen in this game, Julius Garza, and as Rob Rubick has talked about in this game, you got some guys on the 4x100 team. There's a lot of speed for this Hornet offense.
Well, we're going back to that last play. I think we had an issue. Now, we don't have the widest view, but I'm counting here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think they were a man short because there's no one. You watch when, unless this is a helmet right here. That might be a helmet. Yeah, that might have been a helmet. But they clear him out with the wide receiver. So with the wide receiver to that side, he's going to run a go route, Johnny. That takes the corner, and the linebacker who has coverage on Garza, that's what it was. He doesn't see Garza getting in the flat quick enough.
Direct snap to Will Miron. Miron trying to get outside, and he cannot do so. Aiden Schmuckel from his defensive tackle position. You know what Schmuckel said coming into this game? This is what football is about. Either get hit or do the hit.
Well, he does both because he plays on both sides of the football. But this is a nice job by Schmuckel. We're going to get a look. He's going to be right here. Does a good job chasing it down from the backside, and that's effort. You talk about hitting at the point of attack, but you also have to be able to flatten and run. And you got a running back playing some defensive line. You know he's got that type of quickness.
Miron breaks out in motion, or decides to keep it himself, or up the middle, up near the 50-yard line.
Cam Moore on the quarterback.
One of the first times we got to see Cam Moore square his shoulders up and run downhill. And, you know, he's going to, once he gets going, the head of steam at 215, 220 pounds, he's a load to bring down. Got an injury,
yeah, Ryan Birch. Thing was, he had an ankle injury, missed last week's state semifinal game. So they might bring in Grayson Orr.
Look at the tape on that ankle.
Yeah.
He has a man-made cast by the trainer, it looks like, on that ankle.
Orr hands the football off, nowhere to go for Will Miron. Aiden Schmuckel one more time gets up there, and this time does the hitting.
And that's a read, and Will Miron's probably going back and say, Cam, why did you give that to me? There were two white shirts right in front of me. As you see him, as he rides it, there's Schmuckel. He's like,
I don't know if there's anywhere to go.
Well, here's the deal. Schmuckel, we call it like cat and mouse. He has them both covered. He's kind of between, and when he sees a give, he just peels off and makes the tackle. That's just a really good football play.
4th and 4. New Lothrop lines up as if the Hornets will go for it.
Hard count, maybe drop Cam Moore and do the quick pooch kick. I can't believe they go for it in this situation.
That's supreme confidence in your football team. If Clint Galvis does snap it, no. It's going to be Orr who kicks it away, and nobody back deep for St. Francis, and this may work out perfectly, and it does, inside the 10-yard line. So again, Cam Orr and that offense, that's what they'll do. They'll show you as they're going to go for it, able to punt it away.
Well, before that play, I couldn't believe he'd go for it, Johnny. That's why I pointed out, I thought they might just drop him back and do a quick kick. They really didn't drop him much. That's dangerous. Usually you'll see him drop the quarterback about 3 yards back, do the snap, get the kickoff. I love that play. There's no one back to return it, especially when you're playing on a turf field. Gives an opportunity for that ball to roll down the field. And that's exactly what happened. And it really flips the field, so to speak. And now Traverse City starts deep in their own end, trailing 14-7.
Well, St. Francis able to get a stop for the first time today. Peterson hands the football off, and they'll pick up a couple of yards on first down. Hey, keep in mind, up at halftime, we're going to be interviewing MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell. He'll be in with us live, look back on what it took to make this football season happen. We'll look back on the 4 state champions we've already crowned, and Rob Rubick will break down the first half of today's game. 2nd and 7 for the Gladiators of St. Francis. Approaching 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Handoff to Mueller. Mueller up past the 20, kept his feet moving. That's going to move the chains. Alec Mangino and Will Muron in on the stop, but not before the Gladiators pick up 9 yards.
Well, it's going to be an ISO. It's going to be right through here, and he's just going to follow. Mueller's going to follow Aiden Schmuckel. And you see Schmuckel get on the backer, and then a nice little cut off the block. As a running back, obviously in space you need to be able to run well, but you have to be able to read your blocks, Johnny. Where's your guy squaring? Is he turning the guy one way or the other? And Mueller does a nice job of reading the block by Aiden Schmuckel and then cutting off it.
So 1st and 10. Luke Bigger now in at the running back position, lined up to the left of Charlie Peterson. They bring motion. Peterson fakes it, drops back to pass, slings it back the other way. He's got Josh Groves as tight end, but nobody was fooled. Credit the New Lothrop defense for staying with it. And did the ball come loose? New Lothrop says yes.
Pass complete to 22, John.
The officials say no. Loss of 4, though. Cam Warren, Ian Gross in on the stop.
What discipline. What discipline defensively by Ian Gross. All the motions going to the left. I think Charlie Peterson could have looked a little bit longer, but it's a throwback pass to the lineman. It just doesn't time up because Joey Donahue doesn't get out in time to get that kickout block.
Now, I think New Lothrop, they have a chance to, you can see the football, they have a chance to review this thing. Now, they can't ask for it, but the officials could say on a potential change of possession, potential turnover, they can review it. New Lothrop thinks it's their football.
See, I thought it was on a turnover, so in a potential turnover even you can review it, which makes sense. Because if it's not ruled a turnover, you still have an opportunity if it truly was.
Let's take another look at it as the officials come together and take a peek. Again, the angles that they're going to be looking at, same angles we're showing you right now.
Okay, the ball's secured. Nothing's down yet. Still secured.
And ball's out.
Yeah, you can't. It looks out. Now, you can't see his legs, so you don't know, right? It looks like it now. You don't know if his right leg,
right?
Doesn't look, logically, it doesn't look like it could be down.
And again, it's got to be conclusive.
I understand that. Now, another question here is, was it blown dead? You really need to see that real time and see if the whistle blew.
Yeah, let's see if we can hear it.
No, I think that if the whistle came, but it came after the ball was out. So this is this is another view here. Let's see. You might have a better view here of his legs. That's the biggest thing. This is going to be the view. No, that ball's coming out right there, and that's the view. That is a fumble. New Lothrop's football.
And this is a big turnover
I think
inside the 20-yard line.
That's a great view because you can see the ball side, you can see his legs.
And you know who stripped it? It was Cam Orr. The Flint area defensive player of the year. Of course, we talk about him a lot at the quarterback position. He's got an offer to go play at Ferris State. They came down, watched him.
As not as a quarterback.
No, as defensive end, exactly. But take a look at it. Making plays like this.
This is a view. Get ready to pause it if we can. Pause it right there. Now you can look. That ball is coming out. No question. And the legs, you look at his legs, they're not touching the ground as well. So that's to me, this is a no-brainer. I think there's indisputable evidence to overrule the non-fumble call and change the possession to New Lothrop with a short field if it goes. Now, taking quite a while.
Yeah, they want to try to get him done in 90 seconds if possible, but they want to make sure they got the call right. That's first and foremost. Well, we got all day to get it right.
Right. If they only show the first couple views that we saw, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'd think it looks like a fumble, but that last view to me looked pretty clear.
Going back to Cam Moore, we were talking about. Again, Flint Area Defensive Player of the Year, of course, an All-Stater. Here it is.
Ruling on the field was forward progress before the fumble. Play stands.
Ooh, well, we heard the whistle. It's tough. I'll give him a break on this because did the whistle come before the ball was stripped? It almost came simultaneously. It's really hard to be clear. The officials decided, and this is why I'm up here and not with a striped shirt, because. Or in the replay booth, because I have a dinner date and I would have called it in about 15 seconds.
How about that? This is a big play.
Yeah, that's a huge play.
Big for St. Francis to be able to maintain possession. Still second and long here, still pinned deep in territory. Charlie Peterson, he had two guys running in the same area of the football field. Gabe Olivier tipped it, but it looked like it may not have been intended for him.
Intended receiver Gabe Olivier.
Now, Gage Olivier is going to tip this ball. I think he's throwing it to Mueller, who's ahead of him.
I do too.
Mueller is going to be...
Mueller's wide open.
Absolutely.
But again, do you think that's miscommunication? Maybe they're running the right routes?
Yeah, they got receivers by each other. Their spacing has not been good in their passing game. And what happens, especially at the high school level, a receiver, let's say he has a 6-yard crossing route. He gets bumped a little bit. They lose their sense of where they're at, and they start drifting deeper. And I think that's one of the routes definitely was off there.
Third and long, this time Peterson from shotgun. Rolling to his right, not much room to move, and he took a shot. Was able to get rid of it, but incomplete. And he took a lick from Jacob Burgess.
I think Traverse City, St. Francis have a hard time throwing when New Lothrop knows they're going to throw. This is a left-handed quarterback. You're throwing to the right. Gets tossed down a little bit at the end there by Jacob Burgess. But you really... No, all things being equal, you'd like to be able to take that quarterback left and roll him to his left, to his throwing side. They're going to be forced to punt here. New Lothrop should get really good field position.
Yeah, Charlie Peterson, his first punt traveled 38 yards, and standing at the 50-yard line, both Will Muron and Julius Garza. Look out for these two young men. Nice kick. He's going to put it over their head. So nice job by Peterson to kick it over the head of Garza and out of bounds. We know how good that special teams unit has been. 47-yard punt, no return. 14-7. New Lothrop Hornets out in front. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Meyer. Meyer knows when we support the home teams, we all win. And the Sparrow Health System. Wear a mask, save a life. Sparrow Health System. We want to remind everybody, coming up at the half, we're going to be talking to MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell and a late-breaking update on winter sports, when they will be getting underway as far as the contact sports coming up. So, again, new information on that. We'll be talking to Mr. Mark Ewell coming up in just a few minutes.
Ball at the Hornet 35.
Cam Moore back to pass, and he's got Julius Garza wide open. Garza inside the 25, and Garza's going to take it to the house for the second time today.
Touchdown, New Lothrop. Cam Moore to Julius.
Unbelievable 65-yard pitch and catch. And once you get Julius Garza out in space, nobody's going to catch him, Rob.
Yeah, here's the problem. Traverse City's having some coverage issues right now because Garza is just going to come out of the slot and go right down across like a shallow post and he was uncovered. I mean, he was literally 10 yards over, and the ball was underthrown a little bit, which allowed the defender to close somewhat. But you guys just running free in the secondary, and that's not good. Traverse City's got to be, St. Francis has to be more solid. We talk about how defensively gap sound they are. Well, right now they're having some issues on the back end.
I'll tell you what, these guys, I've watched a lot of high school football this year, but I'll tell you, New Lothrop, the offense they run and the way they can score in bursts like that, so many good playmakers on this team, you can understand why they've gone unbeaten to get to this point. Again, 65 yards. And Orr all time to throw and delivers a beauty. As Clint Galvis looks on. His 12th season. You know, a lot of these seniors have state championship experience, again, when they were sophomores. Will Muron, Cam Orr, and Julius Garza, who has 2 touchdowns so far on the afternoon.
All right, we're going to get a look here. Look at Julius Garza right here. He's in the slot. Now, that right here is the problem. You're going to see it. Let it go. The defender over the top is playing run, and you can't do that. And looking in the backfield, Josh Groves gets caught with his eyes in the backfield. Now you see him chasing him. That happens. You have to play, when you're in the secondary, every play you have to think pass first. He bites up a little bit, and this allows Garza to run free. And you can see Josh Groves trying to catch him, but once Julius Garza gets some space, as you called, Johnny, it's turn out the lights. So yeah, just some you can't take eye candy sometimes. You can't be fooled. You see all the jet motion, and that's what you saw. You saw the jet motion on the play running, and Cam Orr does the ball fake on the RPO. It's not really an RPO. It's just basically a fake play action, and then run Garza free down the middle.
Garrett Mangino to the right of Orr. Orr trying to ride the tackler near the goal line, but unable to do so. Nice job by Aiden Schmuckel. He got on Cam Orr in a hurry and kept him out of the end zone for that 2-point try.
Aiden Schmuckel is a football player. He runs the ball as a fullback, but you watch him. He comes, beats the block inside, just really uses quickness against Ryan Birch, gets into the gap, and runs us down from behind him. And he's running down a pretty fast, big athlete. I knew Aiden Schmuckel coming in that he was a big part of their offense. I didn't realize defensively that he was as good as he is. He's really,
that helmet tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the second or third TFL he's had in the first half, tackles for loss, Johnny. So he's really helping that defense. Any success they've had trying to slow New Lothrop down is due to his play right now.
There's Garza staying hydrated on that sideline. The scoring drive, 1 play, 65 yards, 11 seconds. Earlier scoring drive in the game went 2 plays, 59 yards in 29 seconds. Oh, by the way, they also had a kickoff return touchdown. So how about Julius Garza? 2 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. Also got an 83-yard kick return touchdown. That's a good day?
Yeah, that's like my NFL career.
That's in the first half.
You know, we're talking, I want to touch later on, Johnny, when New Lothrop gets on defense, remind me, I want to talk about what they all have in common in their front defensively, and it's a reason they've been successful. And you talk to all the people in New Lothrop, and they will absolutely concur with that's why this defense has become what it has become.
Aiden Ferris, the deep man for St. Francis. Instead, it'll be kicked out of bounds, short.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag, obviously, with the football traveling out of bounds. There's Cam Orr.
So the Gladiators will start at the 35.
Again, we'll be talking with the executive director, Mark Ewell. What is the latest as far as winter sports? Talking boys and girls basketball, cheerleading, wrestling. We'll also take a look ahead, West Bloomfield and Davison.
Kick out of bounds. First down, 35-yard line.
So 35-yard line. That'll be the start for St. Francis.
Big drive.
Down 13.
Yep. Big drive. Worst case scenario, you need to possess the ball here, and at least eat up the clock so you don't go down by anymore. Ideally, you like to get some points on this drive. And it's a good start on first down with an 8-yard gain by Owen Mueller.
Yeah, Mueller comes in averaging about 63 yards a game. He's going to get a number of carries today. As we mentioned, the way this offense, and you've seen it play out, there's not one single back that's going to get the bulk of the carries. They'll rotate some different guys in, and today it's been Owen Mueller, Aiden Schmuckel, and Gabe Olivier for head coach Sellers. Peterson this time hands it off, and it is Schmuckel. Cam Moore in on the stop, picks up 3 yards. That'll move the chains.
For St. Francis.
They need to sustain another drive. Only down 13, certainly still in this football game, and eternity left to decide this one. But the way that New Lothrop has shown it can score, you want to make sure you come down here before the half, come away with something. Peterson hands it off to Mueller. Mueller around the right side, picks up 11, maybe 12 yards on the play. Another nice carry before Ian Gross knocked him out of bounds. They'll give him 12 yards.
Well, this is a nice job. They're going to get outside, let it go. Watch the right guard. That's once again, that's the guy that likes to pull, and he does a pin when he gets to the edge, and this allows Mueller to get to the edge. But also a nice lead block getting out by Gabe Olivier, sealing the corner and allowing Mueller to bounce it outside.
Schmuckel and Mueller lined up.
The big fella, Ryan Henning Newman.
False start.
Prior to the snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard foul. Still first down.
So that'll back him up. 5 yards will bring up 1st and 15 for this Gladiator offense.
Remember the game opened on the first possession? Traverse City, the Gladiators were able to get a 5-yard penalty on the defense, which really helps offense when you're a run-oriented team. Well, as much as that helps, when you get a 5-yarder against you on first down, it can really hurt you.
Peterson back to pass. All sorts of time. Steps into the throw. Over the middle, picked off by Will Muron. And Muron still on his feet, trying to spin away. And that is a big INT for this New Lothrop defense.
Pass intercepted.
Oh, this is their bread and butter. Yeah, this is the bread and butter pass play. They're going to cross their tight ends out of their double tight look. And they cross the tight ends, and usually coach thinks they want to come free. The problem is this has been scouted very well, and Will Muron from his corner. Okay, let's watch here. They're going to bring across here, across here. This is Will Muron. He reads, there's no threat. He leaks back. And when he sees that, look at him. He takes off, he leaks back, he undercuts the route, and that's just a lot of film study. Realize that here comes the cross. Tight end's going to be behind me. Let me get underneath it.
Julius Garza up near the 50-yard line, throws a stiff arm, finally ridden out of bounds.
Well, that could be costly now. We talk about holding serve. You're moving the ball against St. Francis. You're moving it. You're getting things going. You try to come out and hit a pass play on 1st and 15. You turn it over, and now you let this offense that has really been unstoppable, so to speak, here this late morning now, a chance to make it a 3-possession game by half. So that's going to be a difficult task because you are not a quick strike team in Traverse City St. Francis. You are a grind it out, possess the ball, and score.
Keep your eye on Bryce Cheney, wide receiver down at the bottom of the screen. Instead, Cam Orr keeps it himself, and Orr picks up another first down. Let's send it downstairs for more on Will Muron. Brooke Fletcher, what do you got?
Yeah, Coach Galvis has talked about how he has a great relationship with his players, so much that Will actually babysits for his kids. And he also talks about how handy he is. There he is. He's fixing cars. So sometimes Coach Galvis will ask him to come over and do some chores for him. He actually had a funny story last week, guys. He was taking his daughter, or picking up his daughter from school, and he asked Will to come over. He forgot he had some jerky on the smoker, so he asked Will to take the jerky off, and he got a text from Will and was like, hey, do you mind if I take some of this home? Just shows the relationship they have.
And how about Cam Orr? Cam Orr takes it down inside the 5-yard line. Well, Coach Galvis has a great relationship, certainly with Will Muron, Julius Garza, and Cam Orr.
Well, when you talk about football players, there's different categories. You put the people carrying the ball. Some are Ferraris, some are bulldozers. And then you have semis, diesels like this guy right here. He's just a diesel going down the field. Body, arm tackle is not going to get it done. He's too big, too physical. Does he have great speed? No, not in the open field. He runs okay. But look at, he just has good balance. He's an athlete, and that's when you get those feet, when those wrestlers have great feet.
Or hands it off to Julius Garza. Garza one more time. Give him 3 TDs on the morning.
Touchdown, New Lothrop. A 3-yard run for number 3, Julius.
3-yard touchdown run for Julius Garza. Take a look at that stat line. This is all in the opening half, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this is just going to be the little jet motion. And what Garza does is he reads the block on the edge. The lead blocker that time, he does a great job of seeing it. They're trying to stretch it out, so he cuts it up. He gets a good block as well by Jaden Curry, number 55. And once again, we talked earlier in the drive when they had of reading your blockers. Too many guys just run the darkness. You need to run the daylight.
And the 2-point try, are they in? New Lothrop is in. Cam Orr able to run it in for a successful 2-point try.
I said you can always tell that the young men that watch college and professional football, they learn the tricks. One of the tricks is stretching the ball to the goal line, especially on a 2-point conversion where if you fumble it or something happens, you're not going to be hurt by it. So stretches it out. Cam Orr does a nice job in this game right now at 28-7.
They're leaving it all out there.
Yeah, they are. They just have some athletes new coming in, and you talked to Josh Sellers, and he knew it was going to be tough. And that's why we talked to the Open Johnny about you needed to possess the ball if you are the Gladiators of Traverse City St. Francis, because the best defense you can have against this team, New Lothrop today, is to keep them on the sidelines offensively. And they've been unable to do that.
Well, Garza, kick return touchdown, receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown. He does a little bit of everything.
He starts it out early here, and this was a backbreaker. After Traverse City was able to come down, take the lead, then they go Tim Tebow with the jump pass, and then Garza once again catching the ball, running the ball, just a really good player. And you talk to Clint Galvis, and I asked Coach, what do you think concerns them? He says, well, you can't key on one player. He says, we have 3 guys, 3 really good guys, and some other good guys in offense, but 3 guys between Garza, Muron, and Cam Orr. Who do you key on? Who do you try to, put the strength of your defense to? Because if you go to one too much, we can use Cam Orr as a decoy, and the other 2 can hurt you.
Yeah, he said that more recent layoff. Remember the 7 weeks off? Coach Galvis said, it was maybe a day or 2 we knocked the rust off. But after that, he felt like his team hadn't missed a beat. Credits his kids for staying prepared for if and when they got the call to come back. And now here they are, and they've looked really sharp. St. Francis. Aiden Ferris trying to get to the sideline, up at about the 25-yard line. That last scoring drive, 70 yards in 4 plays, time of possession. I'm going to ask you, over or under a minute, Rob?
I'm going to say over.
Under, 56 seconds.
For who? For the game?
No, the last scoring drive.
Oh, okay.
They've had 3 scoring drives in less than a minute.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry,
That's
Johnny.
okay.
I don't always,
This is a glimpse in
it's kind of like a marriage. I don't always listen.
I was going to say, I'm tuned out most of the time.
Yeah, but, for the game, do they have 4 minutes yet? 5 minutes total? We have to ask Mike Brada, their statistician. He can do a little bit of math there, but I don't think they have much over 4 or 5 minutes for the entire game offensively.
Hand off to Owen Mueller, and Mueller wrapped up. Guess who? Julius Garza, not just an offensive playmaker and in special teams, but on the defensive side as well. The senior coming up to make the stop.
And Julius Garza on the stop.
Again, another reminder, we're going to have the executive director of the MHSAA, Mark Ewell, coming up here at the half.
Let's watch Alex Mangino fight off the block of 1, and then he reads the block, the kickoff block of Joey Donahue, and runs underneath it and makes a nice play. Here's a look. It's got to be kind of neat, huh? For Alex playing next to his brother, Garrett.
Mangino up there making the stop alongside Garza. Peterson back to pass, pump fakes once. He's got somebody, overthrows it, and that's going to be picked off. Intercepted by Bryce Cheney.
Pass is intercepted.
So how about Cheney?
Number 4, Bryce Cheney.
Well, and it really comes down to philosophy and strategy of the game. Traverse City St. Francis doesn't want to be slinging the ball around. That's not what their MO is. They're a running football team first. They want to control the clock and run the football. When you force someone out of character, as New Lothrop has done by getting all the quick strikes, now all of a sudden Traverse City feels, Josh Sellers, well, we got to start throwing. We need to get some chunks. There's only a few minutes and a half. You throw it up there, and Charlie Peterson's had a rough afternoon. Just not a lot of guys running wide open, and when they are open, you know, the one head down the middle, the other receiver deflects it, so it's been a tough go.
New Lothrop back out. Cam Moore going over the top and wide open over the middle is Cannon Cromwell. Second reception on the day. No, they're going to say incomplete. Maybe too wide open, Rob.
Yeah, we always talk about a quarterback. The hardest pass to make sometimes is when there's no one within 10 to 15 yards of your receiver. Here's Cannon Cromwell going down on the seam. And we're going to look here at the replay. Boy, yeah.
Looked like a catch here.
It's non-reviewable, though. It's not a change of possession or a potential
nice
change
job.
of possession.
Yeah, football.
Looks like you got underneath it, but you got to remember, what makes that difficult is the official that calls it behind him, already makes the call, can't see him when he turns his back. This isn't, you know, they don't have 87 officials and 20 cameras like the NFL does. Actually, we usually have a few more when this is done over Thanksgiving weekend because you get the sky cam, which they always have up for the Turkey Day game of the Lions. We're not privy to that here today.
Let me ask you a quick question here. How often do you think the St. Francis defense has seen this type of spread?
None.
If at all this
no one up north. There's too much snow. Everyone just runs the ball. It's hard to really run a spread-style offense.
Or keeps it himself up the middle on the Lions logo, still on his feet. Up to about the 43-yard line. Again, 70% of the plays that this new Lothrop team runs based off reads. That time, Cam Moore kept it himself.
And what's tough for Traverse City, St. Francis, is you've seen guys running open in your secondary, Johnny. There's guys wide open. So now all of a sudden your coverage gets spread. You're putting in a dime package. You get 5, 6 people in coverage. So now you have a light box. Only thin, very inside. Only five guys in the box. And you got a 215-pound quarterback. You say, okay, I'll just run a little read here and run the ball myself.
Or hands the football off. Aiden Schmuckel in on the stop, and then a whole host of gladiators in to plug it up. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Gets Will Muron. Inside 2 minutes to play now.
The defensive lineman, 6 foot, 205-pound, number 41, Aiden Schmuckel. He has been everywhere today. You can see they can't block him. He's too quick. He gets in the gaps, and he gets Muron before he can even get going. That's what's his 4th TFL for the game.
Julius Garza. No, it's going to be Muron on the outside. I bid on the fake too. He's going to move the sticks.
Well, everyone's familiar with the RPOs. Now, they've kind of evolved and changed. The RPOs you see now at the college level, it's usually where they're riding the guy up the middle, but this is the ride, the pull, and then he goes to the flat. This is how it really originated, where the quarterback will start even running towards the flat, and then he can keep running it or toss it. Oh, my Lord, he wide open. He hit a touchdown ahead of him.
He had Bryce Cheney went underneath. He did have Cannon Cromwell up over top.
Cheney with the reception.
He had a touchdown if he went to Cromwell, who was at the next level. But you see the difference in spacing here. If we get a chance, we can maybe come back to that play. The spacing difference is their receivers are 15 yards apart, where Traverse City's routes are 5 yards apart. It just brings too much of a crowd to the party.
5 receivers set. New Lothrop smelling blood here. Orr keeps it himself. Cam Orr, one man to beat. Orr across the goal line. Touchdown.
I'm up here taking my fingers to Johnny before the play. Johnny, I'm going like this. I knew he was going to run it. They spread you out. They set you up by doing the little RPO to the edge. And then Cam Orr sees 5 people in the box, and you got helmet on helmet, and you got a 215-pound quarterback. It's a no-brainer. Okay, look at you only have. How many people? You only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But these 2 are going to be taken out of the play. Let it go. Because they're going to work up the field. So you got 4 or 5 guys blocking 4 or 5 in the interior. And Cam Moore just does a nice job of getting the crease. Get another look at it here. He kind of looks outside, gives a generic fake, but he knows what he's doing from the beginning. And it's just, what do? Right now, you're just between a rock and a hard place if you're St. Francis, because you have to commit more to the passing game because you have some issues on the back end because there's guys running free. And if you don't do that, you got to make them leash. This way, you're 5-on-5 in the box. Hopefully one of your defensive linemen can come off and make a play. But this is when coaching, you earn your money because it's everything you do isn't working. Everything they do is working.
Well, fabulous play calling. This scoring drive almost took 2 minutes off the clock. Believe that. 6 plays, 54 yards. This is a new Lothrop team averaging 48.5 points per game. Here in the first half of the state championship, they've got 35. They say save your best for last. I don't know how many people thought the last would be the fourth weekend in January, but here they are, and they've kept it rolling. Again, had a bye in the first round, and then look at the point totals they put up here throughout the postseason.
Yeah, but it really gives you a lot of respect for that team, doesn't it? When you watch how good New Lothrop is, that Schoolcraft could keep the game within 2 touchdowns and score 21 points on this defense, which is impressive as well, and hold them. It sounds funny, but they held New Lothrop to 36. You know, most teams would love getting 36 points in the game. When you're putting up 63, 56, 41, and once again today at the state finals, you have 35, and we're not quite to half yet. Just a lot of weapons, huh?
Yeah, that Schoolcraft game, that 2-touchdown difference, that was the closest game of the season.
Okay, now, I just was handed a stat. Okay. The time of possession is 20 minutes and 12 seconds for St. Francis, 5:55 for New Lothrop. But when I made my 4-minute comment, it was before that last drive, so I was correct. Correct, Mike Brada, our statistician? Thank you. I got the thumbs up. I'm just looking to pat myself on the back, and
that's not like you. No. A little bit of miscommunication there on the kick return. St. Francis, it's Brooke Flowers. Brooke Flowers and Aiden Ferris ran into each other a little bit, but Flowers able to get it and take it up near the 30-yard line, where the St. Francis offense will have an opportunity to go to work. Again, the deficit is what it is. You got less than a minute. What do you do here?
I hand it off. I just go in and lick the wounds a little bit, try to regroup, because it's spinning away from you. If you're Josh Sellers right now, you know, they're just not in sync defensively. Their offense really hasn't been horrible. They've moved the ball at times, but the turnovers have really come up to bite them here in the second quarter.
And there's the handoff. Couple of yards, the clock will continue to run. So we are inside a minute. Again, coming up at the half, the executive director, Mark Yule, he's going to be joining us live in the booth. We're going to talk about winter sports. You're going to want to stick around to hear this. What's the plan in place moving forward? Of course, we'll look back at the state champions crowned yesterday, and we'll bring you everything you need to know from the first half of this one in case you tuned in late. But we're excited to have Mark Yule up in the booth with us, get everything sorted out as we move forward. Peterson, the lefty rolling to his left, comes underneath to Schmuckel. Schmuckel able to get out of bounds, stop the clock with 8 ticks remaining here in the second quarter.
You got to respect someone like Aiden Schmuckel, huh? You know, defensively, he's just played so well. And then offensively, he's run the ball, he's caught the ball. He's a football player. You know, they say, why is he good? Well, he's a football player. Is he big, fast? I don't know. He's a football player. He makes plays. Brady Rose, we saw yesterday, 5'7", 150 pounds. I don't know. He's really good. And some kids just are that. They're just naturally, they get it. They understand the game, you know, intellectually. They understand everything about football, what needs to be done, and they physically, they adapt and make plays.
Peterson, one last chance. He has time in the pocket, steps into the throw, looking toward the outside, had a receiver, but just off the outstretched arms. And that is how the first half will come to a close. Charlie Peterson trying to go to the outside. He was looking for Anthony Piedmont. Again, Piedmont, one of the senior captains, his first game back, suffered a hairline fracture. Good to have him back on the field, but unable to come up with a conversion there.
Yeah, we're going to get it is, and they tried a shot. I thought maybe a little bit too little too late, but I think Brooke Fletcher is going to have a chance to grab Coach Galvis heading out. We get the leading coach waiting on Clint Galvis, but he's got to be just all smiles. I mean, what do you say? What do you need to work on? I mean, it's 35-7. Your offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Your defense gave up the 1 drive, but I'm sure Brooke Fletcher can ask Clint Galvis what he likes and maybe what he can work on, Brooke.
Coach, good stuff from your offense this first half, putting 35 points on the board. What impressed you from them so far?
Oh, man, we just came out to play today. Guys looked obviously ready to roll, and, you know, and sometimes I think they key in on Will Muron a lot, and Julius Garza is one heck of an athlete, too, and we're getting the ball in Julius's hands, and he's doing some big things for us, too. But up front, I think we're winning that line of scrimmage, which is huge, too.
Well, let's talk about your defense, holding them to only 7 points, having a few interceptions. What do you need to continue to see from them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're tremendous at running the ball, and, you know, they're going to try to eat up some clock, and, you know, I think we're a little bent, but don't break there for a little bit, and create a couple turnovers, and that's kind of been the difference is the turnovers right now. All
right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you,
Johnny, back to you.
All right, Brooke, Hornets looking for their second title in the last 3 seasons. They are well on their way. A well-oiled machine here in the first half. Coming up, an interview with the executive director of the MHSAA, Mark Yule. Don't go anywhere. What a first half here in the Division 7 championship game. Traverse City trailing New Lothrop 35-7. There are a lot of people that were uncertain we would ever get to this point. I'm pleased to be joined by the executive director of the MHSAA, Mark Ewell. Again, we're thrilled to be playing football here, albeit in the fourth weekend of January. But how pleased are you to be able to see these kids, these programs, able to finish what they started?
We're really going back to June, Johnny. We've had 3 goals. The first was to get our fall started and finished, winter started and finished, and last but not least, our spring. So really, this isn't much of a finish line this weekend. It's really the first third of the race.
Gotcha.
So thankful we were able to get volleyball, girls swimming and diving, and now football to the finish line. But, you know, after tonight, the real battle becomes getting all of our winter sports going, including our 4 contact sports.
Well, one of the big things, obviously the big initiative is getting the testing, and a lot of these schools have to get their testing going. Are you surprised, or did you expect these types of results with your testing program?
So the results have been incredible. When you take all the participants in football, volleyball, girls swimming and diving, and that's not just the kids, but that's coaches, everybody had to take a rapid test 3 times a week. For football schools, it even included their cheerleaders. That included those kids as well. You can see that just over 5,000 people were part of the rapid testing program, and only 1% of those individuals had a positive test. And at last week's snapshot from MHSAA, the over 30,000 tests had been conducted, and the negative test rate was 99.8%. So this is MHSAA data, and you know what we've all tried to do since the beginning of this is to follow the science and the data. And I think the data that we've been able to compile really throughout the entire fall, but in particular the last month during the testing program, not only shows that we can play, but we can play safely.
Well, you mentioned there are 3 phases to this that you'd like to see. Obviously, winter sports being the next one to go. What's the latest as far as winter sports, when they can get going?
So we've had all of our winter teams practicing the 4 contact sports: basketball, ice hockey, competitive cheer, and wrestling.
Yep.
They've been having to go, but non-contact practices. So obviously, Governor Whitmer spoke yesterday. There was a lot of new information for us in that announcement, so we'll take the rest of the weekend. We'll figure out exactly what this means for our winter sports. We'll examine what the options are moving forward. Ultimately, since with our winter sports going back to November, we have been ready to go. And whenever we are allowed to play, we will play, because again, I think the number and data that we've gained over the last month shows that this can be done safely.
I think preliminarily the idea is to push it back about 3 weeks to get into the contact portion of it, which would take us to about February 21st by my calendar. Let me ask you this. You've got a boy playing in these state championships, okay? So as a father, okay, your son's going to be playing, right, with DeWitt?
Yep.
Okay, against River Rouge. That's going to be later today. What is your level of nerves?
Truth be told,
tell the truth.
That's about the easiest part of today. Yeah, I happen to have a kid who's still playing, but the real story the last month has been all of our kids in fall sports. It's been every volleyball player. It's been every swimmer and diver. It's been every football player that had their season put on pause. And it's been about all of our winter kids and all of our winter coaches. So, yeah, there will be probably 2 hours tonight to where I will try and sit back and just watch the game in a little bit different prism. But I don't want anybody out there listening to get confused or misunderstand this, that our push here is for every high school kid in Michigan to have a season this year, and a season that reaches the finish line, and that continues to be our entire focus. We just need our government leaders to give us that chance.
Oh, we appreciate it, Mark. All the best to you. And again, you know, you got a big hat to wear, obviously, as executive director, but it's okay to be a dad and root on your kid. And we'll look forward to that game coming up a little bit later tonight. DeWitt against River Rouge in another one of our state championship finals. But so far, it's been all New Lothrop in this one. 35-7. They lead it here at the break. We'll be back with more right after this.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true in the face of flu. Influenza has the power to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
largest personal injury accident award in Michigan. You may not know who won it.
But here's who helped get it. Goodman Acker.
We listened, we fought, and we won. A record $15.3 million cash settlement. That's winning big. That's Goodman Acker.
Now what can we win big for you?
Goodman Acker, good decision. Call 1-800-TRUSTED.
Stay with us after the game as our coverage of the MHSAA football finals continues, and you won't want to miss what's next. Coming up at 1 p.m., the Division I title game. Defending champ Davison and their elite defense takes on all-everything running back Donovan Edwards and West Bloomfield. Find out who will reign supreme in Division I right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Much more to come. New Lothrop is performing here in the first half. They are up 35-7. Much more to come when we return. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Goodman Acker, Detroit's trusted law firm. By Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of the MHSAA. And by Addicts. Visit addictsportswear.com to start your custom order today. And by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Mask up, Michigan. Spread hope, not COVID. We begin our recap in Division 8. The Bulldogs of Centerville taking on Ubley. Quarterback Sam Todd hooked up with Tyler Swanwick for a couple of passing touchdowns. And the Bulldogs won their first ever state title in school history. On to Division 2, the exclamation point to their year-long Brady Rose showed was delivered. His 165 yards and 2 touchdowns powered Muskegon Mona Shorts over Warren De La Salle 25-19. That's back-to-back titles for the Sailors. In Division 6, it was all Montague over Clinton as quarterback Drew Collins led the Wildcats to a 40-14 win. They outscored their opponents in the playoffs by a whopping 38.8 points per game, their third title in program history. And the day ended with Division 4, where Detroit Country Day got the Ford Field Monkey off their back, ending their 5-game finals losing streak, defeating Cadillac 13-0 in the process. It's their first state title since 1999. New Lothrop leads 35-7 here at halftime. More with Matt Shepard and Rob Rubick when we return.
You can see the scoreboard now. You can see the stats that got us here. Rob Rubick, draw for us.
That really doesn't go together, does it? 35 points in 5 minutes and 55 seconds of possession. And that is why that stat is so misleading, because on the other side, you have only 7 points, but you've had the ball for 18 minutes. That's just not, doesn't make sense, but it's what you do with it. It's quality minutes, Johnny.
That's it. That's one thing you said. Sometimes time of possession can be misleading, but that is efficiency. 35 points in less than 6 minutes of action. That man, Cam Orban, leading it. Aiden Schmuckle trying to get his St. Francis team back into the football game. We got the kickoff of the third half coming up next. A little bit of a scoring summary of how we got here, Rob Rubick.
Well, you know, I talked to Clint Galvis, and I said, you win because of a system, you know, big physical guys, or what is it, having athletes? He goes, we win a combination of, we like our system, we have a plethora of speed. And we saw that in the first half. We saw Will Miron, and we've seen Julius Garza put it on display a few times. And then you see the Diesel back there throwing the ball. He finds Garza running free. And then obviously the system, he's getting guys running free, but the system has stretched this Traverse City defense thin. And Julius Garza's on a little jet sweep. He tucks it up, and then the Diesel comes through here. The big fella heading to Ferris State, Cam Orr, puts it in for a touchdown. And
I like that. I like that, the Diesel.
He is. You know, like I said, he doesn't look like he's got that quick burst as you see with Miron and Garza, man, but he runs downhill, and I'm glad I'm not on the other side trying to bring him down. And they've been very efficient offensively.
And you got to add in there, there's another touchdown, right?
Yeah.
But that was their actual offensive drives as Galvis looks on.
So 5 touchdowns out of 6, actually in 5 out of 5 possessions. I think I'm trying to do the math right here, but they're going to get started here now, Johnny, in the second half, and Traverse City St. Francis has got to kick the ball off. So obviously, risk of stating the obvious, they need to stop.
Bryce Kempfin to kick it away, and New Lothrop, and hit it about the 25-yard line. So Raphael Woods, not much running room, tried to backtrack, find some space, but as it is, New Lothrop going to start at the 25-yard line. So again, New Lothrop won the toss and deferred to start the game, and now a chance to bring this offense back out here to get things started in the third quarter. Johnny Kane, Rob Rubick, and Brooke Fletcher calling the Division 7 state title game with you here from Ford Field. We're glad you're tuned in. And Rob called him the Diesel. That's number 6, Cam Moore, the talented quarterback who you mentioned is headed to Ferris State to play defensive end. Or slings it out to Will Muron. Muron trying to find running room, not much doing. He stood up by Gabe Olivier and company.
Will Muron on reception.
Well, that's an RPO. It's the, like I said, that's the old school RPO where after the ball fake, the quarterback kind of starts running laterally to the line of parallel to the line of scrimmage towards the receiver, and they're reading the corner. Usually if that corner drops off, he's going to throw it to the flat. If the corner bites up, you can throw behind him to another receiver. That time he decided to throw it short, but a good job in coverage coming up, making the play. Traverse City on the corner that time. Ferris came up, did a nice job.
Loss of 2 on first down. This time, Cam Moore going to be stopped right at about the line of scrimmage. Aiden Schmuckel.
Well, we've called his name a lot defensively. Obviously, offensively, he's a big part carrying the football. But we're going to look right here. Aiden Schmuckel is just, he's just too quick to block. He does a nice job of coming off inside and flows down. And look how he chases stuff down. That guard's pulling. Now, what he's doing is cheating. Jacob Burgess is pulling. He gets on the hip, call that getting on the back hip, because he's going to take you to the play. And if the play doesn't get there quick enough, he will run it down for the backside, and that's exactly what he did.
Look at that 4-receiver bunch at the top of the screen. They come back underneath Raphael Woods. And Woods is going to pick up a couple of yards, but that's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that's exactly the start Traverse City needed the second half. What's going to be interesting, though, offensively, when they get the ball here after the punt by Cam Moore, what do? Because they're a run-based team, but they're down 4 possessions. And the way they run the ball at 4, 6, 8 yards a carry, there's not enough time in this game, Johnny, for them to put 4 long scoring drives together. Besides, you have to believe New Lothrop is going to be able to eat some clock up as well. So I think it's going to put them in a position they're not real comfortable, and that's throwing the football with Charlie Peterson, who had his struggles in the first half.
And a flag comes in. Just about 2 minutes elapsed on that offensive possession for New Lothrop.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense.
Now to back him up, so.
Still 4th down.
As it stands, St. Francis going to have an opportunity to get the football with pretty good starting field position. The 2 deep men standing at their own 40-yard line. Cam Moore with a nice boot. And the handoff. St. Francis wrapped up. Burke Flowers called his name a couple of times on special teams. Not a bad return again. Going to get it at the 39-yard return of 7. They're going to go ahead and spot the football at the 44. So as you mentioned, there's still a lot of time left in this game, but you got to be able to come away with points. Again, you don't want to completely abandon what you do. But certainly we should see or expect to see Charlie Peterson throw the football a little bit more here in the second half. And a whistle comes in, and St. Francis believes that one's going to go against New Lothrop.
Before the snap, encroachment, Defense.
There it is. Third time today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is a little bit different look than Lothrop. Traverse City St. Francis offensively. Look at this. That's an eye. We haven't seen that the entire day. They come out in a straight eye formation. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do here, if they're just looking to run some leads, some blast plays, or if this is maybe a formation they're more comfortable throwing out of.
They hand it off to Gabe Olivier, and he crosses midfield. That's going to bring up second and short. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this St. Francis team. Lost to Sault Ste. Marie, started the season 1-2. There they are at 1-2, wondered what was going to happen. And Coach Sellers said we kind of had to come to Jesus moment with these kids, said enough is enough. We got to turn this thing around. And they've been able to do that, reel off 8 straight, of course, 1 being the forfeit against Oscoda in the regional final. The pitch, Olivier, got to the edge, Olivier, down to the 35-yard line. Nice job moving the sticks. Alec Mangino up to make the stop.
Yeah, we talked about a different look. They came on that eye set. You're going to see here, this is called lead option. Schmuckel, the fullback, he's going to lead around the edge, and we're going to get another look at it here. And watch, Schmuckel's going to come here. He's going to come on, and he's going to get the first block on the edge. You're going to come down, option the defensive end, and then pitch it. And a good job by Schmuckel. He actually, I think, could have kept running to the next level and tried to get the next defender, but he got a helmet on someone, and a nice offensive play.
Olivier, again, runs off tackle, picks up a couple of yards.
Olivier is the ball carrier.
We'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the St. Francis offense.
Isaiah Passing, along with Will Muron, takes the stop.
Again, Will Muron, one of the defenders in to make the stop. So look at, there's Cam Orr. You saw Cody Krupp in the screen as well. Talented defense by these Hornets. And Schmuckel takes it from the shotgun. Schmuckel trying to ride his lead blockers around the right side, keeping the feet moving, spins away. He's going to pick up a first down, Rob Rubick. Will Muron again in on the stop.
This could sound like a broken record. We talk about some people are just football players. 41's a football player. And you can't coach this. You can't teach this. And we're going to watch this coming right at you here. Aiden Schmuckel coming around the edge. He's got a load of blockers in front of him, but when he commits to turning it up, he turns it up. And Will Muron cannot bring him on. He really delivers the blow to number 8, Will Muron. And you see big number 6, Cam Orr, and they're trying to get it. And
you got about a 25-pound weight advantage.
That is pretty. Watching a big physical running back deliver the blow.
Peterson back in under center. Hands it off to Olivier. Olivier nowhere to go. Isaiah Pasikin on the stop. That'll bring up 2nd down. Approaching 7.5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. St. Francis trying to come away with points here.
Well, this is an impressive defensive front of New Lothrop. When you look at Cam Orr, Isaiah Pasick, Cody Krupp, and Jacob Burgess. One thing they have in common, 3 of them, wrestlers. A really solid wrestling program. Orr, Pasick, and Krupp. Also Bryce Cheney and Ian Gross in the secondary. So this defense is good with that translation of sports. And I love that. I love the multi-sport high school athlete.
Aiden Schmuckel again takes the direct snap. Schmuckel again working to his right into the 2nd level. And Schmuckel takes it down inside the 10-yard line. Alec Mangino, the first man to get there. Gain of 9. First down. Gladiators.
When he heads home, he'll be sleeping by the time he gets, I'm going to say about Troy, because he is going to be tired. Look at this. This is just student body, right? Getting a bunch of bodies in front of you, just a power play. Getting your running backs in front, leading through, and then just really working hard.
First down and goal. Ball at the 10.
He's earned that break.
First and goal from the 10. Luke Beggar now checks into the backfield. So it'll be Peterson, Olivier, and Bigger. Peterson hands it to Bigger. Bigger lowering the shoulder inside the 5. Then he stood up. Garrett Mangino, the junior linebacker, coming up to make the stop. Hey, keep this in mind quickly, Rubes. Garrett Mangino broke his ankle in the district final, and here he is out on the football field. Brings up 2nd goal from the 5-yard line. Peterson trots in after getting the play call. Peterson, quarterback keeper. He's got good length. Trying to use that 6'3" frame to lean forward, picks up a couple of yards. Pyle's still moving, no whistle yet, Rob. And now finally inside the 2.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of not blowing the whistle. They do in the NFL now. They do at the collegiate level. I just think at the high school level, there's a lot of times that pile's not moving because the running back is doing it. And they take a long time here. Listen.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
Okay. This is not rugby. Rugby's a different sport, and that's kind of like a scrum. The problem is the running back is usually in the middle of that, and sometimes it's not his legs are even touching the ground. There can be an injury in that situation. So
here comes your football player, Aiden Schmuckel.
That's going to be a run.
Schmuckel with a head of steam. He's in across the goal line. Touchdown, St. Francis.
We're going to look at this. I think Aiden Schmuckel, this is the second time, he almost catches this on the run. Let's show that. Okay, watch the ball, watch him go. He's leaving at the same time as the ball is snapped exactly, and he gets a running start. It's just downhill, and it's a straight-ahead blocking by the offensive line. We'll get another look here at real time here, and it's just get a little bit of surge and let the big physical back put it in the end zone, and St. Francis with a little bit of life yet.
Absolutely.
Make it from here. Yeah, make it a 3-possession game with still about a quarter and a half left.
Here comes Bryce Kemp. All reliable coming on to try the point after. High snap. And the hold. St. Francis going into the end zone. Oh, it's caught. Gladiators Jimmy Muslakovich, the senior tight end. How about Anthony Piedmont making something happen with the pass? He's the place kick holder. Fire, fire. There's Schmuckel taking it in for the second TD of the game for St. Francis. And then Piedmont finding Muslakovich. It's 35-15, 5 minutes to play, third quarter. Be sure to stay with us after this game. Our coverage of the finals continues. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up next, because at 1 o'clock, it's the Division I title game. All eyes on this one. Defending champ Davison and that elite defense taking on high school All-American Donovan Edwards and Wes Bloomfield. Find out who will reign supreme in Division I. That's coming up next on Fox Sports Detroit.
Well, Johnny, in that last drive, we saw Aiden Schmuckel, instrumental part, actually, finishing it off with the touchdown. But this young man has played both sides of the ball extremely well. 13 runs for 81 yards offensively and a touchdown. But I think he's really made his impact is on the defensive side of the football. He has been money. We'll get a chance after this kick. We'll look at a little montage we have put together of some of the plays and the impact he's had defensively for the Gladiators.
You can see that paint chipping on the helmet for Aiden Schmuckel. Bryce Kemp in to kick it away for St. Francis. But a great way to start that third quarter. If you're a fan of the Navy and Vegas Gold.
Flag on the play.
And they kick it out of bounds. Let's take a look at Aiden Schmuckel one more time, Rubes.
Yeah, defensively, he just shows tremendous quickness and a good field understanding for what the other team's trying to do. He's able to beat the blocks very easily, get into gaps. But this is the play I really like. This is effort, and this is just tenacity, chasing it down from the backside. And that's the diesel now. That's a big man he's bringing down, 220-pound quarterback. And as you can see, he gets Will Miron. He does not discriminate. He will tackle anyone, anywhere, anytime. 41. Tell you what, young man, you have played an excellent football game, whether or not your team comes out on top. He has 3 TFLs, tackles for loss, Johnny, and a half of another one.
Cam Orr keeps it himself, has the fake. Orr with a little bit of running room, throws a stiff arm, finally corralled inside the 40-yard line. Looked like he might break it, but Aiden Ferris and Josh Groves able to stay with the play. They bring him down, but not before the Diesel picks up 29 yards.
Well, he does his best Derrick Henry here. He gets down the field. Cam Moore, you can see this, as Josh Groves close on him. And this is just coming through. They fake the jet. It's a read. You see the defensive end. We get another look at that. I like to show exactly what he's reading. And then you see him finishing it. A nice job on the stiff arm. And I want to come back to that play. We get a chance after this next one to look at. And I like to show people what he's reading and why it's successful.
Orr this time drops back to pass, has a little bit of pressure in his face, and just throws it out of bounds. Aiden Schmuckel in there to force the pressure. And Will Muron a little bit shaken up on the play.
All right. This is who they're going to read right here. Watch the defensive end. Now watch, let it go. And watch, the back's going to come across. He's going to put it in there. He's going to read him. Actually, it's a D tackle, my bad. He works up the field, and he comes underneath it, Johnny. Is the D tackle shoots straight up the field. Quarterback sees that. The tackle's trying to get the jet guy. So when he works up, he pulls it and cuts underneath him.
I give Josh Groves a ton of credit for holding on. Able to eventually bring him down, but again, a gain of 29 yards. Now we've got 2nd and 10 after the incomplete. Orr looks over to Coach Galvis. Now he gets the play call and take it from the shotgun set. Fakes it to Garza. Orr keeps it himself. Picks up a couple of yards on 2nd and 10. Joey Donahue and Aiden Schmuckel in on the stop.
That's the same play we just drew up. It's the jet read. It's a quarterback power read off the jet motion where he's reading that DT. Now that time the defensive tackle, and I think that was that Joey?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, that was Joey Donahue, who did a nice job of kind of cat and mouse, and he didn't commit too far up the field, allowing Cam Moore to get underneath it. So a very limited gain, set about 3rd and 8.
Inside 4 minutes to play.
See what kind of adjustments they made in the secondary, because in these situations in the first half, people were just running free.
Orr back to pass. Coming over, looking for his target, number 4, but that was knocked away. He was looking for Bryce Chaney, but a nice job in coverage by Anthony Piedmont.
Well, Piedmont really did a nice job of closing and ripping and stripping. Now, Cam Moore does a good job of standing tall, but the pressure comes and gets in his face by Jimmy Muzlasevich. And then watch this. Watch Piedmont come through, rip the ball, and fight through it. And that's just a really nice job, because that ball was well thrown. And Chaney had a chance to make the play, but unable to.
On 4th and 8, New Lothrop opts to go for it. Pressure on Cam Moore. He's going to be stopped. That's going to be a turnover. Guess who? Aiden Schmuckel. It'll be a turnover on downs. A nice job by that St. Francis defense. Aiden Schmuckel leading the way. Gladiators got to be feeling pretty good about things. Able to come up with another stop. Question is, can they come back down and get 7 more? We'll find out.
Welcome back. New Lothrop leads 35-15. Ian Gross, he is quite the player, but he's also quite the farm boy. Funny story, actually. Coach Galvis told me last summer when they were hosting two-a-days, he did well at practice the first day. He went home. Then he came back, and he actually looked a little tired. Coach came up to him and was like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, Coach. I'm fine. Well, later, his younger brother that's on the JV squad, Jacob, came up to him. He's like, Coach, actually, he barreled 800 barrels of hay this afternoon. That's probably why he was looking a little tired. Guys, 800 barrels of hay. That is insane.
In between two-a-days, Brooke.
In between two-a-days. He's making me look lazy.
Ian Gross, the senior. Aiden Schmuckel. Speaking of seniors, he's the ball carrier, takes it around.
800 barrels in a day.
800.
Yeah, that's gross.
In between two days. No, and here's the other thing. His younger brother, Brady, he's the one who had to tell head coach Galvis. Yeah. Because Galvis said, man, it's not like Ian to be dragging like that. And so he says, Coach, I'm good, I'm good. And it was his younger brother, Brady, says, Coach, here's the deal.
Yeah, hey, Brooke, I'm telling you, if I did 800 barrels of hay, that's why I went to college, because I'm like, this is work. I do not want to do this. I'd rather use something else like my mind, because that's physical labor. Farmers, gotta love them. That working for a living. Overrated.
Much respect.
Overrated. Yeah, much respect. Exactly.
You saw Aiden Schmuckel look like he was walking gingerly on the sideline. So Luke Bigger comes into the backfield for St. Francis. There is a whistle. So hopefully everything's okay with the senior captain, Aiden Schmuckel. We've been saying his name all morning.
Delay game. Offense.
I'll back him up 5 yards on the delay of game.
Interesting. That shouldn't happen when you come out of a break, right? Was another.
Well, they had a first down.
They had the first down, right? Yeah.
There's Aiden.
Hey, let's go!
Getting a blow. 3 minutes, 21 seconds left here in the third quarter. Again, Luke Bigger now into the backfield, but it's Charlie Peterson in the shotgun formation. Peterson fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and he got popped. Jacob Burgess, the first man in on it. Cody Krupp in to clean it up.
Charlie Peterson on the carry.
Brooke Fletcher, what do you have?
Yeah, Johnny, earlier in this quarter, Will Muron left the field a little banged up. He was holding that right ankle. He's working with the trainer now on the bench. We heard him say he twisted it. We're not really sure yet. She's still working on it, but we'll keep an eye out on that, guys.
Absolutely. So Will Muron for New Lothrop getting taped up. Aiden Schmuckel for St. Francis. He's on the bench as well.
Definitely a pass look here. Four receivers, one back.
The lefty over the middle. Oh, big hit. But guess who held on? Owen Mueller.
Peterson complete to 10.
And Bryce Cheney really closes on this, but this is the best thrown ball by Peterson this afternoon, because this is a strike. He doesn't have a lot of room to put this, and we're going to look as Charlie Peterson drops back, he sets, and he throws him open, and then
look at that takedown.
Yeah, nice job by Bryce Cheney coming up. Good clean hit, shoulder. But how about hanging onto the ball for Owen Mueller? Really nice play. Gives him a chance on 3rd now and 4.
Handoff. St. Francis going to pick up the first down. You talk about Bryce Cheney making that stop. Last year, runner-up. State wrestling tournament, I believe, at 152 pounds. He came in, had a nice takedown there of Owen Mueller. So now Aiden Ferris into the football game. He'll rotate into the backfield.
First down and
Number 2 on your screen, 5'7", 140-pound senior, average about 7 yards a carry. He's the one who got the first down carry there. 1st and 10. Peterson.
Wheel, throw it. Oh, he hit the wheel. Sorry.
Came back.
Sorry.
He's coaching from the booth.
Oh, he had Aiden Ferris on the wheel route, no within 15 yards. I'm sorry.
He got Jimmy Muzlakovic.
Yeah, I just think in that play, you're running that to set the wheel. This should be your first read. If we're going to get a look here, watch right here. We're going to go run him down the side. You're going to bring him in here. Let it go. And no one goes. You see all the defenders jump out, and there's no one back there. That's a touchdown. That's a walk-in touchdown.
That's twice today. I believe Peterson had a receiver up over top. But they do pick up positive yardage. And Schmuckel back into the football game. Nice to see that. He takes the direct snap. And that's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Talking to Josh Sellers prior to the game on the field, and I asked him about Charlie Peterson, because I looked at him, and the passing numbers aren't great. You know, they don't like jump off the chart, but they're decent. And he said he is really developing. We think by next year this junior is going to be a really good quarterback and may have a chance to play on. We've seen spurts of it here during the course of the game. We just haven't seen that consistency yet.
Peterson hands it off to Olivier. Tough yards. He's going to pick up the first down. Going back to your point on Charlie Peterson. Coach said for us, he's a type of kid we don't see very often come through our program. Calls him the real deal. They really like his frame, and he can really sling it. Like you said, having another season going into his senior campaign, this experience is going to help.
Well, it's all about learning for him now. He has the physical attributes you need. He's 6'3". We see he can run. He has a strong arm, Jarning, but there's so much more to playing quarterback than just having a strong arm. He has to learn to be able to make the reads, the progression reads in the offense, and find the open receivers and deliver.
St. Francis on the move. They hold up the 4s. 1 quarter left to decide the Division 7 state championship. You're watching it right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
It's definitely, it's been a process, but I mean, from the get-go, it's like we've always just had great kids. I mean, it's an amazing community with great backing, and the kids are just always willing to put in the work. And when you got a community and you got kids like that, it kind of makes it easy to kind of, get the program up and rolling, and, making trips down here to Ford Field. It's going to happen when you got kids like we got.
Coach Galvis now in his 12th season, again, 2nd state title appearance in the last 3 years. Take a look at that. 11 straight seasons with 10 or more wins. Peterson, back-to-back, back-to-pass, and the pocket collapses. He's going to end up being brought down by Alec Mangino and company. Picks up 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, he made something out of nothing. And that's what you want your quarterback to do as the pocket breaks down. He's able just to tuck it and get up the field and try to get some positive yardage.
Bring up 2nd and 6. We are underway here in the 4th quarter. Trailing by 20, St. Francis desperately in need of points. Gabe Olivier lined up in the backfield. Aiden Schmuckler takes a direct snap. He's going to take it around the left side, trying to be patient, waiting for his blockers. He's going to be wrapped up right away by Julius Garza. Picks up maybe a yard.
Aiden Schmuckle is the ball carrier. Garza makes the stop.
And there's Julius Garza.
3rd and 5.
Called his name quite a bit this morning. Now we're into the afternoon. And you're fighting the clock, you're fighting the scoreboard here, but you don't want to completely abandon what you do. But you got to score quickly, and then hope you get the football back, do it again. And do it again. Peterson hands it off to Owen Mueller. Mueller plowing ahead, going to be close to the first down sticks. But he's going to be a couple yards shy. Ian Gross, Alec Mangino, 2 of the Hornets in on the defense for the stop.
Well, this is a big play, and I always ask coaches, what do you do in a crunch situation? You go to a player or a play? And Josh Sellers quickly said, we go to 41. Somehow, it could be a screen, it could be a trap, it can be an ISO, but we want 41 involved in the play.
Well, here it is. 4th and 2, they'll call it. Peterson rolling to his left, comes underneath, and Aiden Schmuckle. How about it? What'd you just say?
Yeah, and you know, they said he likes to throw screens, but that time it's just a little bit of a fullback flat pass where they're going to leak Aiden Schmuckle into the flat play action. And you're going to see here, let's watch 41. He's just going to fake the block a little bit and then get right by the linebacker and get to the next level. Alex Mangino just bit on the run fake enough. Ooh, just with the fingertips, he's able to pull it in.
Grab.
Nice grab, well-designed play.
They needed 2, they picked up 12. It's going to bring up 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Mueller, Schmuckle, Olivier into the backfield. It's going to be Mueller. Mueller up inside the 5-yard line. Sound like Ferris Bueller's day off, huh? Gain of 6.
You talk to the coaches. I didn't realize we'd see so much Mueller running the ball today. He's really, starting to put some decent numbers up himself. This is not a game that you would think is a 3-score game. Traverse City's rushed for over about 250 yards. So St. Francis has been able to move the ball.
Mueller, one more time, tries cutting back. He's at near the goal line. I think he's going to be brought down at the 1. Grayson Orr, younger brother of Cam, in on the stop. I will say this. Coach Sellers said about Mueller, he's their best running back. They're going to go with the quarterback keeper, Charlie Peterson. Peterson's in.
Touchdown, St. Francis.
St. Francis has a little something cooking here, Rob Rubick.
Yeah, and we saw this early. That's why I was calling for the sneak. They run that straight T set, and they hurry up to the ball. And always a cheat for a broadcaster is look at the quarterback's leg. We'll get another look at that. When the quarterback doesn't have his legs, his feet next to each other, the one foot is back. There's a look. That's tough. It's no.
Well, again, you got to look at the line judge on the far side. Came in and gave it to him. Watch when he stands up right here. Tries to get the football up over the top.
Yeah, I think that's what he did, and that's when they ruled it. Now, they may review this.
Well, they will. As it stands, it's 35-21. Again, the point after pending as Bryce Kemp is out there, number 72.
Talk about tips. Little things I can tell you if you're a defensive lineman. Now, not whether you can see this. Oops, I kind of missed it. Yeah, let's look at here. Let's try it again. Let me try it right here. Right there. Look at his foot back. When they're in that sprinter stance, a quarterback, that usually means it's going to be the sneak. They're trying to get leverage. They're pushing off the back foot. So that's a little bit of indicator for that defensive front. But officials,
and again, he's got that. Yeah. He's got the good length.
We don't. Yeah, he does.
6'3".
And it was smart in that situation to stretch the ball over. We're not, like I said, we're not privy to having those pylon cams, which are nice in this situation. But we don't have them today, and it's up to the line judge, and they have the best view in the stadium.
And again, this is an official review. And the same images that you're seeing on your screen is what this crew is looking at as well. So unless it is conclusive, the ruling of a Charlie Peterson touchdown should stand. Let's listen in.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
How about the fight in St. Francis right now? The gladiators.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're fighting like a gladiator right now. Because they're not giving up. I mean, it was 35-7, and they looked
they got hit in the mouth,
dead and buried, and they're coming back. And what a credit to your coaching staff. Obviously, the players are playing hard, but to keep them engaged and involved when it's a 35-7 game and keep fighting.
Bryce Kemp in there with the point after. He's been perfect all year. Point after. 35-22. It's a football game. 9 minutes, 8 seconds remaining here in the Division 7 state championship. There it is. Charlie Peterson leaning, reaching. He's in. We're back after this. They've cut it to 13. The big play on this drive, 4th and short. And who do they go to? Number 41, Aiden Schmuckel.
He's Marcus Aurelius. He's the true gladiator here. He's the one they go to on defense to make the play and offense as well. Nice job by Charlie Peterson. You know, he's had some suspect throws today, but that's a really nice throw. And you look at Aiden Schmuck was able to pull it in and turn up the field and move the chains and give him a few more downs and put it in the end zone and make it a 2-possession game.
You can see the total yards. Again, St. Francis putting it on here in the second half. As for Aiden Schmuckel, his older brother won a state title. He wants to do the same.
Well, they're going to have to get the ball back quickly here and enable that offense, which is moving the ball a little bit quicker down the field. But that 9 minutes in high school football can go pretty quickly if you start running the football. So St. Francis, if they get a stop here, which is going to be huge, they're going to have to try to throw the ball. But look for New Lothrop maybe to try to get the edge again in the jet game.
Kemp kicks to deep.
They had some success early with Garza. Let's see if they go back to some of the jet game. We saw more of Cam Moore in the second half, don't you think, where he's pulling it and running it more than we did in the first half. Let's see if they go back and try to get Julius Garza some more reps.
Let's head downstairs. Brooke Fletcher, injury update. Brooke, what do you have?
Yeah, as you can see, Will Muron is back out on the field. We saw him getting his right ankle taped just a little bit ago by his trainer. She said they thought it was a right ankle sprain, but he was running and walking up and down the sideline. So clearly it's feeling a little bit better, guys.
Good to see him back out on the football field, no question. Thank you for that, Brooke. He moves in motion or keeps it himself, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards on the play. Let's go back to number 8, Will Muron. Played his best all-around game in the state semifinals. How about this, Rubes? 340 all-purpose yards, had 3 receiving touchdowns, 145 rushing yards, 90 yards on kick return for number 8 with that new Lothrop offense. Good to see him taped up and back in there.
And if he's truly healthy, they can involve him. If not, if you know he's not 100%, then you have to use him as a decoy. And then you can still use him in some motion and so forth, try to get the defense to stretch and open up and give some area of attack. But if he can't run and he's not 100%, then 6 and 3, that would be Orr and Garza have to carry him.
There's Garza on the jet sweep. It's a fake, and Cam Orr decides to keep it himself. Again, 70% of their offense is based on reads. That time he read it, kept it.
Yeah, and I thought the give was there on the sweep with Garza's speed. He doesn't need a lot. And you're going to see him come from, there it goes. You see him motion, 64. Nice job by Casey Donahue. You see him really kind of call that cat and mouse, where he doesn't commit either way. He kind of stretches out. It's a tough read on the quarterback. It makes the quarterback think, ooh, I'm stretching. He's going to go outside. I'm going to cut it in. But he's able to squeeze back down and make part of the tackle.
0 of 3 on 3rd down. Here's the 3rd and 5. An opportunity. St. Francis come up with the stop and get the football back. Or keeping it himself, nowhere to go. And the Gladiators defense rises up. Joey Donahue, they call him tough as nails. He's a thumper. Number 51 in white comes up and makes the stop.
Well, someone just yelled clear, and boom, they resuscitated this Traverse City Gladiator team. And you can look here, who else but you see Schmuckel getting in, but also Donahue. Those are the people we talked about, highlighted throughout the course of this game, the Donahue boys, as well as Aiden Schmuckel, and they're both just been raising havoc here, especially in the second half. Now, if you're Traverse City, you have to hold your water. You're not going to go after a block here, so do not jump offside if they hard count you.
Cam Moore. Oh, it's blocked! Blocked by Jimmy Muslakovic. Ball still loose. New Lothrop recovers, but guess what? St. Francis is going to get the football at the 1-yard line.
Well, the best thing that happened for St. Francis is it didn't go into the end zone and have New Lothrop jump on it, because then it's a safety and it's only 2 points. This way, because it stopped on the 2-yard line, they have a chance to go get a touchdown and make this a one-possession game. This is incredible. This is Rocky Balboa-ish here, the comeback we're seeing. This is just coming from the left edge is Jimmy Muslakovic, and you're going to see quickly before they're coming to the ball here, what a nice effort. And then you can see Cam Moore grab his shirt. I think may get a holding call.
Aiden Schmuckel is going to take a direct snap. Schmuckel straight ahead, untouched. Touchdown, St. Francis. Don't look down. We got a football game.
2 yards for Aiden Schmuckel.
Oh, baby. 21 unanswered, Rob.
You know, Johnny, this has been the strangest year, 2020, last year rather. Everyone said what a horrible year it was. But football-wise, I've seen things this year that I haven't seen in my 45, 50 years of watching football. And we're right now witnessing an unbelievable comeback. Schmuckel, 17 runs, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And they're right now, it's a 7-point game, and they're going to try to kick it, but can't make it a 6-point game.
Oh, partially blocked. So how about that? You were just saying?
No good.
You've seen a little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah, we're going to go back.
How about that? Bryce Kemp, that's his first missed PAT of the season, right?
And that was blocked, yep. We're going to get a look at the block punt. You see Julius Garza trying to get his team fired up because they've been idle here in the second half. And from the right side of the screen, you're going to see pressure come. Right here, he's going to come off the edge and really lay out, goes underneath the block. You cannot allow that. If you're the wing on that side, in that situation, that's Andrew Krupp, you have to make him go outside you, because the shortest path to block the punt is to come underneath the block. And he was able to come underneath it. You can see right there, 22, lets him go. That, you can't do that. And then the block, and then the recovery on the 2, and a quick touchdown.
I'll tell you what.
Well, and here's the thing. We talk about Traverse City not having the style of offense to score quickly. But when your special teams can give you a 2-yard field, Johnny, then it's not very difficult. It doesn't take a lot of time. Now, still with 6:46, all the pressure right now is on the Hornets. They need to put not a drive, a first down. I mean, they've struggled the last 2-3 times they've gotten the ball. Because if you give Traverse City, St. Francis the ball back here, the Gladiators, they have a lot of confidence with their offense.
Julius Garza and Ian Gross back deep. Kemp kicks it away. He's going to keep it short of him. Ball's going to be touched at about the 30. And it's Bryce Cheney. I'll tell you what, 21 unanswered for Traverse City, St. Francis.
Number 4 place.
If you notice, when Will Miron got hurt, I mean, he missed a few series there where he was being worked on. This offense just, all the air went out of it. And now they have him back, but we don't know, and Brooke was down there trying to get some information, and she's not 100% sure how healthy is he 80%, 60%, 100%? Because he's a huge part of this offense. They need that speed, that
and the defense.
Yes.
Man, this has been something.
Shame on us for thinking about running clock. Shame on us. That's why this is the greatest game on the earth.
No question about it. Cam Moore trying to find a little rhythm. This time, the jet sweep fakes it again, and again, he decides to keep it himself, and again, the St. Francis defense says,
Or on the keeper.
St. Francis is doing a really good job defensively of not giving them a clean read. I don't think Cam Moore, he's really indecisive. Do I pull it or do I give it? He's getting kind of conned into pulling the ball, but the backers are there, and they're filling quickly. There's really nothing there. They need to try some other running play, because the last 3 or 4 times they've tried that quarterback keep, it hasn't worked.
This time it's Miron in motion. Cam Moore slings it out to him. Not a ton of space, but a nice job moving his feet. He's going to get up about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. That'll bring up 3rd down. Gabe Olivier in on the stop for St. Francis.
Well, we have another player down on the field. I think that's Cromwell.
Yeah, Cannon Cromwell. Looks like it. Number 7 in black.
Well, that was a positive play, getting Will Muron kind of back into the game, and that's that RPO. Where the quarterback, Cam Moore, comes down, he kind of rides it, and he runs to the sideline towards the receiver with that run-pass option, delivers it, and they get about 7 or 8 yards now. Very manageable 3rd and 1.
0-4 on 3rd down.
Well, you're going to locate number 41 defensive Aiden Schmuckel, because these are plays that he runs through and gets through gaps.
Orr keeps it himself. This time able to pick up the 1st down. So showed him a similar look to what we've been seeing. This time it was Garza coming in motion near the screen. Orr kept it himself, only needed 1, picked up about 3.
Well, they're just going to run power here. They're going to bring bodies through here, get everyone blocking in here, just try to create a little bit of room. And then you can see he just finds a little bit of a crease, and being 220 pounds doesn't hurt. Lower your shoulders. A lot of the defensive linemen from St. Francis are not 220 pounds.
1st and 10. 5.5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. One more time, it's Orr, and one more time, Joey Donahue, number 51 in white, handles all the calls from that middle linebacker position. He comes in and makes the stop. He wasn't fooled on that one.
Well, obviously this is a replay, but for some reason, I almost think even if it's against what I think I'm seeing, I'm going to give it to Garza on that jet motion one time to see if he can get the edge, because I know I'm reading my keys, and it tells me as a quarterback I need to keep. I need to pull the fake, but man, there's nothing there.
Donahue with 6 tackles in this football game. Now pressure. Schmuckel had it on Orr, able to get rid of it to Will Muron, picks up a couple of yards. Guess who? Joey Donahue.
And Aiden Schmuckel did a nice job. That's a screen, so obviously they're going to give the lineman a quick check, the defensive line, and then release him. But with Aiden Schmuckel's quickness and speed, he forces that screen a little bit quicker, which allows the defense to see it. And when they can see it, they can close on it quicker.
3rd and 6. Huge play. Muron in motion. Cam Orr comes back for Garza. Garza with a 1st down reception, and that'll move the sticks.
Well, Cam Orr, not known as a great thrower, but he's a pretty good thrower. We're going to get a look from behind here, and he steps into that, delivers a strike as Julius Garza just sits down in the curl area, and that is a huge play. Good job in protection by Jaden Curry, giving him time at that left tackle position. Ryan Birch and Jacob Burgess and Cooper Simons did a nice job. Traverse City defensively, though, in the 2nd half, we talked to our open Johnny about how they had to be stout and gap conscious up front. Now this 2nd half they have been.
Orr fakes the handoff. Garza one more time. Garza makes the 1st man miss. Garza with the stiff arm up the sideline inside the 20-yard line. Get your playmakers in space.
Yeah, we talked about maybe giving it to him on the jet motion. Instead, they ball fake, they get him into the flat, and they pass it to him. They use this like an extended toss. You see Garza, he's the offset back to the right, then they just leak him into the flat and get Bryce Cheney out in front blocking. And then Garza just showing why he's such a good athlete.
Picks up 26 yards on that play. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Orr fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Cam Orr inside the 10-yard line. He's going to be right at the sticks. Maybe a half-yard shy.
It's amazing. As soon as you can threaten that perimeter a little bit, you have a couple successful plays get to the edge. Now the off tackle, the keep, he can pull it, and there's a little bit of space. You get in the minds of all those defenders. They're going to go wide. They're going to go wide now, and then you can just kind of get underneath it. So, Clint Galvis not panicking. Head coach of Lothrop really not panicking here. Rallied the troops, and this has really been a money drive for them.
Well, and they've leaned on their senior Cam Orr, who has never lost a game as a starting quarterback. He's trying to put his team on his shoulders in shotgun, but a whistle comes in. They'll blow the play dead. Timeout, New Lothrop.
Timeout, New Lothrop. That's their first timeout.
Here we go. 2 minutes, 33 seconds left to decide it. New Lothrop with an opportunity to perhaps deliver the death knell. We're back after this. Hey, we do want to take a moment, welcome in our audience watching today on Fox Sports Detroit, Fox Sports Go, as well as CW46 in Flint and ABC 29 and 8 up in Traverse City. All with us live for the Division 7 state championship game. We hope you're enjoying this one. Rubes, coming out of a timeout. What do you do? What are we looking for?
I think nothing fancy here. You want to keep that clock going. You're going to run the football with 2:33, so you're going to force Traverse City, whether you get the first out or not, to take a timeout.
Cam Ward this time hands it off. Julius Garza, can he get to the edge? Garza to the pylon, and there he goes. Julius Garza has a nose for the end zone, and he is back in there, and that could be it.
And, we've been calling for that. They've kept it so many times, they being Cam Moore, actually the quarterback, that sooner or later I figured they had to give it on the jet just to stretch it. And what I like about Garza is he runs looking. He doesn't just run, I'm fast, I'm going to try to get to the edge. He's looking for a crease the entire time as he goes right over the top of the pylon. But he's looking to cut it up because one of those earlier touchdown runs he had on the jet, we saw him go out, put his foot in the ground, and go north and south. So not just a speed guy, but has running back vision as well.
Well, these are the games you dream about as a kid. 2 rushing touchdowns, a receiving touchdown, and a kick return touchdown as the point after goes through. So New Lothrop had given up 21 unanswered, but able to come back. Thanks to that man, Julius Garza. It's 42-28. We're back after this. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, all for you, and by Farm Bureau Insurance, the presenting sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. So here it is, inside Ford Field, St. Francis. Coach Galvis fired up as New Lothrop answered. If you're St. Francis, Rob, does this change everything as far as your approach to try to get points in a hurry?
That would be yes, 100%. You no longer, you could slip a draw in or something or a screen, but you basically have to throw the ball. You need chunk plays. Now, if you feel that New Lothrop is playing a lot of cover where they're dropping 6-7 guys back in coverage, yeah, you might try to get a run in and get 10-12 yards, stop the clock with the movement of the sticks, but overall, you got to take Charlie Peterson, fella, we got to get the ball down the field quickly.
And how about this? A nice return on special teams. St. Francis up past the 40. It's Owen Mueller. And how about that, Rob Rubick? That changes the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it makes a short field once again that had after the block punt. This looks very similar to what we saw Garza. He takes it to the left, he finds the hole, and then goes back to the right. Owen Mueller just didn't have enough in the tank, and Raphael Woods is able to run him down. But once again, and this is a great feeling as a return guy right here. You got to be saying, oh, I even got green, but then all of a sudden someone's nipping at your heels. But still, great opportunity. Now you have the capability in a couple, 3 plays maybe to get the score to make it a 1-possession game and set up the onside kick.
Peterson comes underneath looking for Schmuckel knocked away. What do we always talk about? Well, you know this, obviously being a football guy. You know, the 3 facets of the game, and special teams has been big for both sides here today.
We've had really 3 huge special team plays. A touchdown return on a kickoff, a field-changing return right there, about a 67-yard return, and then the blocked, well, actually 4 because we had the blocked extra point, too, and a blocked punt. No, it's been a very entertaining game. It's a lot of plays, good, bad, and ugly, but it's entertaining. Get Solo down here. I really look to the bottom. You got...
Oh, ball knocked loose. Peterson lost the football. It was Cam Orr coming in and knocked it loose. Fortunate for St. Francis, Casey Donahue able to fall on top of it.
Well, they got to hurry up here, though. This is a minute 55, and it's rolling. That's a, it's ruled a fumble, so they stopped the clock. Now Josh Sellers will take a timeout, I believe, once he realized that was an incomplete pass. But Cam Moore, you know, we've talked about him at quarterback, throwing and running the ball, but he's going to Ferris State, I believe, and he's going as a defensive end. You know, outside linebacker type. Get a look here. We see the pressure. Cam Moore come in really unblocked, totally unblocked. You get 2 offensive linemen on the left side. You have Devin Town and Ryan Henning-Newman, 2 blocking 1, and no one blocking Cam Moore. If you're going to account for anyone coming from that left side, number 6, you better know where he is.
Well, Coach Galvis called him the best defensive end he's ever coached. Says he's got a great pass rush, obviously, and has those intangibles. Rip move, swim move, bull rush, spin. Next level stuff that most kids don't get until they get to college. But you leave him unblocked, he doesn't do many of those moves.
We just saw the last play. If you don't block him at all, he's really good.
Exactly. But yeah, talented player. Again, Ferris State, they watched one of his games. The very next week came up and brought an offer. And, of course, Ferris State, a Division II power, so look forward to watching him.
If I'm Traverse City here, if I have any type of middle screen, I would run everyone off, try to get that coverage down the field and throw a screen to Schmuckel and give him the ball, hopefully a little bit of space. Now, they're going to maybe man him up or spy him because he's been such an integral part, but I'd still do it.
Peterson, 3-step drop, has time. Throwing over the middle, has his target, caught by Jimmy Muslakovic.
Wow.
And that's going to be a first down.
And that's a seed. That was a seed. He steps in that lefty, he delivers that. He gets it by the outstretched arms of Garza.
Looks like Garza's still down. Might have been cramping up a little bit. We saw earlier in the game, might have had some dehydration issues. And now they come out and stretch out that calf.
And here's a look from what Charlie Peterson's looking at. Looks down the middle, then he sees it coming late, and nice ball he throws. You know, he's got another year. He's a junior, and as I said, in the second half, he's looked better. He's looked more comfortable. He's made some good throws to really help his team crawl back into this game. And that was one of the bigger ones there today on a 3rd and, what was it, 3rd and 14 or something, that he's able to complete a pass for 15 yards and get a first down. And now a little bit break for them is because of the injury, or actually the cramping of Julius Garza, that stops the clock, and they can kind of regroup on the sidelines, get a couple plays called in your huddle here, talk to your offense, say, you know, make 2-3 play calls and get at it, really get them into the hurry up mode. Now Traverse City, St. Francis still with 2 timeouts. If they can score here, then you're looking at an onside kick and hopefully a quick recovery.
Coach Sellers looks on. Garza with 9 tackles on the day, 1 tackle for loss. Now at Peterson, more than 1,000 yards throwing the football this season. Nice to see Garza coming off the field. Hey, don't forget, you want to stay with us after the coverage of this game, because coming up, it's the Division I title game. Division champ Davison and that elite defense taking on high school All-American Donovan Edwards and West Bloomfield. Going to want to find out who reigns supreme, taking on the hardware in Division I. That's next on Fox Sports Detroit. It was a scheduled 1 o'clock kick, but obviously that's going to be pushed back a little bit as it is already 12:45.
Yeah, isn't that funny? We thought this was going to be running clock in the second half. Instead, it's turned into a longer game because of the scoring. So many points scored, and, you know, every time you get those kickoffs, it eats a lot of time off the clock.
Peterson, back to pass, steps into his throw, looking for Mueller, but just over the outstretched arms. At 5'9", Mueller reached as far as he could, but just led him a little too much, Rob.
Yeah, he did, and Jimmy Muslakovic was waving his arms, heading down the middle of the field. I don't think he was as open as much as he thought he was. But that's, 2 in coverage there. I think if I'm Charlie Peterson and I'm Coach Josh Sellers, I'm really going to work on is having my quarterback be able to read what's going on more than, it seems like everything's predetermined where they're going to throw the ball. True passing quarterbacks, they're going to start reading coverage, and the coverage will dictate to where they're going with the football. But right now, I think it's like he knew he was going to throw it out there. It didn't matter. There are 2 defenders there.
Down 2 scores. They need 1 in a hurry. Peterson over the middle. Mueller inside at about the 5-yard line. They're going to hurry to the line of scrimmage.
Very good. They'll
Bryce
stop.
Chaney in on the stop.
They'll stop the clock to move the chains, have the play call, get at the line.
Peterson, first down and goal at 7.
So a gain of 15. They're going to huddle up here. And now they're going to hurry back to the line. Again, 1:20 on the clock and ticking. 3 receivers to the top of the screen.
Oh, rolling them left, that's tough. Or rolling a left-handed quarterback right.
Oh, he got him in the end zone. Josh Groves. I wasn't sure from this angle.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be reviewed, Johnny. I'm not sure from this angle we had. Now, hopefully we have an angle to see if he gets. Remember, it's just 1 foot, 1 toe. It all has to be touching when he goes out of bounds.
Well, we'll say
this would be a good view right here.
So there's Peterson. Look at the toes. I think he caught it. And I'll say this. You know what his head coach said? He has the ability to make the circus catch.
But is he
right
in the end
there?
zone? Yeah, I think it's a catch, but it shouldn't be a touchdown. I think he's on about the half-yard line. Even though the pylon, see what happens is an official sees the pylon being hit, and you assume that the ball's in. But to me, it looks like the ball's about a half-yard out, and by the time he secures it, are his feet off the ground. I don't know. It was called a touchdown on the field, so we'll see. I don't know if they can. Here's what I don't know, Johnny. Can they say, okay, it's a catch,
but short of the goal line?
It's short of the goal line. Can they change that part, or is it all or nothing?
Well, there again, St. Francis is on here to try the point after, down 14. Well, they were down 14. If this is ruled a touchdown, they get the point after. They're down just 1 touchdown and try to get the football back. Now, again, they have a look at the same angles as we do. Man, what a play. Josh Groves, the most athletic receiver for that St. Francis offense.
Yeah,
Did he cross the pylon?
I don't know, but try to find a better catch anywhere than that. Stretched out with his hands, secured the ball cleanly, never bobbled, and whether or not his toes were still on the ground when he had it secured, it's really close. But like I said, I don't think it's a touchdown.
They could rule it inside the 1 is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rule
catch
on that in high school.
Let's take one more look at it.
Let's zoom in. We get that. We can stop it right when his feet are. When he's right. Okay, now let's stop it here, and I'll do my magic. Let's see. Looks like his toes are on the ground, doesn't it?
And keep in mind who called it. The line judge called it, and he's right there.
Oh yeah. It's not a cloud of dust, but it's a spray of rubber.
Spray of rubber pellets. What a play. What a catch. Such a critical play in this game. And certainly the officiating crew want to make sure they get it right.
Yes. Yes, Johnny, you're right. They want to get this right. And we're looking at this up here, and we're kind of discussing off the air a little bit. Does the ball have to cross the plane? Obviously it does, but I'm not sure you can tell. And we're going to find out right now.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
There you go. We have the answer.
Well, and let's look at the big picture here. What's really important about that is you scored with 1:07 left. Because if you get an onside kick, you need a touchdown. You don't need a field goal. This is the NFL. You don't have a guy that can kick at 55 yards. You have to get a touchdown, so you want as much time on that clock as you can have.
Bryce Kemp in to try the point after. Had one blocked earlier. Whistle, they're going to blow this one dead.
Yeah, Aiden Schmucko, he was the right wing. He kind of buckles a little bit.
Before the snap, false start, offense.
They're going to back him up 5 yards. We'll try it one more time.
Now, this normally is not a big deal. They love Kemp. As far as him kicking the ball, very solid. But the problem they feel with Kemp is he just doesn't have a lot of leg. Very straight, very consistent. He was 36 for 36, just not a big leg.
Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's a 7-point deficit, 42-35. And we got an onside kick coming. Would this be a way to kick off Championship Saturday?
And it's let me just say this. You have a lot better opportunity at this level of recovering onside kick than you do at the professional or collegiate level. A few reasons, Johnny. The main reason is you don't have the time as a high school coach to dedicate so much time to how do we line up for an onside kick, how do we kick it, how to recover it, what are the rules. You glaze over it, so to speak, because you spend more time on your special teams on the punt and punt return and kick. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they line up and how you cover it. And this is, who else falls into this is the officials. They got to be ready to watch and make sure no one is offside and that the ball goes 10 yards.
You saw the championship hardware St. Francis has outscored New Lothrop 27-7 here in the second half, but they're going to need 7 more in order to send this thing to overtime. Again, how big has special teams been all day? We talked about it. At least 4 huge plays.
Could this be
the biggest play of this game?
Could this be 5? Well, it's 5 no matter what. If it's
right.
It doesn't matter who gets it. It's a huge play.
Fabulous. This is when you bring out the hands team if you're New Lothrop, and they have some athletes out there.
Yeah, you look at the numbers up front, you see 6. When all the numbers are low, that's a good sign in high school. You got 6, you have 5, you have 3, you have 22, you got low numbers in 7. That's what you don't want to see. There's no 50s and 60s out there.
And there's the kick. It's going to be corralled by Raphael Woods, the junior, and that is going to do it. New Lothrop coming out with the hands team, able to recover it near midfield. And now with 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining, we'll see.
You know, theoretically, Traverse City St. Francis could get the ball back with like 10 or 15 seconds. It depends here. Now we do get a look at the onside kick, and Kemp is kind of trying to pull it to, he's a left-footed kicker, trying to pull it back to his right. And Raphael Woods rather was right there to make the play.
Got 2 timeouts remaining for St. Francis, as you mentioned too.
You're going to see there's been no handoff here. And I called that, and there it comes. I wouldn't risk it. I just think in that situation, why even risk a handoff? You can fake it, tell your quarterback you're going to keep it and run up the field. What it does do by running the jet play, it takes another second or 2 off the clock, Johnny.
And that was Will Muir on the ball carrier, and there comes that second timeout for Traverse City. They'll have 1 left in the pocket, 59 ticks remaining. You can see the next football game, the players are coming in. Remember, there'll be a 20-minute break in between this one and the Division I final.
You get to run home,
chance
right?
to
You're
run
done.
your refrigerator if you're at home.
Are you doing Pistons tonight, Johnny? Or
Pistons coming up tonight. Pistons 76ers, 8 o'clock.
Beautiful. I get it. On the other hand, I get to stay here and call the game of Shep. We got Davis and West Bloom coming up. It should really be a wonderful football game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring, though. And even with Donovan Edwards in the game, you know, the best running back in the state of Michigan, one of the best in the country. Davison's defense is so stout, so good. I just don't see them giving up. Now, he may hit 1 home run, but I don't see him hitting 2 or 3, and they may need 2 or 3 if they're going to get the win.
There's Cam Orr, number 6. One of the best football players in the state. On 2nd and 5. They'll bring motion one more time. He does hand it off on a sweep again. This time it's Garza. Garza picks up a couple of yards. He's going to be shy of the first down. Josh Groves in on the stop for the St. Francis defense.
Cam Orr has really played well today, not just offensively, but defensively on both sides of the football. And you talk to these coaches, and Clint Galvis said, he's the best defensive end I've ever coached. I think Clint Galvis may want to just say, he's one of the best football players I've ever coached all around, because he helps you in so many ways.
Saw West Bloomfield eager to take the field for this next football game. We talk a lot about Orr. There they are. We were talking about Julius Garza, again, number 3 in black. 9 total touches, 248 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's the kind of game, right?
Yeah.
As a young man, you think, man, let's get to championship. I want to be a big part of what we're doing.
But on defense, he's played well. He's pushing double-digit tackles on defense as well.
Again, Division I final coming up here. 20-minute break in between games.
And this is something you get a chance to see. There's a look at
West Bloomfield.
The Cardinals and the Lakers. What you get a chance to see at Division 7, there was a lot of guys going 2 ways. With West Bloom, they 2 platoon for the most part. And Davison will only maybe play 9 guys, maybe a couple both ways.
Orr stood up in the backfield on 3rd down, so they are going to get a chance to get the football back. Credit to Jimmy Muzlakovic. So on 3rd and short, Muzlakovic comes up and lays the stick on Cam Orr. The clock continues to run. It brings up 4th and 8.
Well, this is my opinion. What I do in this situation is I let it run down. Don't even take it. Just let it run out as much as you can before the refs give you a delay of a game. Then you back up.
About a 6-second differential,
you take
right?
Cam Moore, you run go routes outside. You take your receivers, you split them wide, you tell Cam Moore, you drop back, and then you throw it as high and as far and about 10 yards out of bounds, but just have a receiver in the general area, and the game's over. They never get the ball. You don't have to punt it. You don't have to risk getting the punt blocked or anything like that or fumbling. Just have your quarterback, the guy that got you here on both sides of the ball, drop back, eat some time, and heave it.
So you just got it. You're trying to eat up 7 seconds.
There's 7 seconds. 1,001, 1,002. He drops back, waits a second. He throws it high in the air, goes. Yep. 7 seconds.
And if you're the St. Francis defense, you want to get pressure?
Yeah,
certainly.
Maybe you roll him out. Maybe you just kind of have him roll out to the left, roll out to the left.
Does he even throw it, though? Let's say he gets back there. If there's nothing down there, do you even throw it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're throwing it out of bounds anyways. You're not trying to complete it. You're just trying to eat some clock. But roll him out a little bit because that would guarantee it.
If you're Aiden Schmuck, trying to get in, get pressure right away, and if he has to get rid of it quicker, in a hurry, it sets up a miracle-type scenario. You might get a couple of ticks left on the clock. So and you're on your side of the 50, on their side of the 50, I should say.
MLK Lowell, I believe that was, with the Hail Mary pass a few years back.
Donovan Edwards looking on for West Bloomfield. Football players can appreciate, watching the highest level no matter what division you're in. Luke Bigger, way deep for the St. Francis defense, and this is it, folks. Cam Moore rolling. He is going to heave it. Heaving it deep, and it's going to be out of bounds, and the clock elapses. It's all zeros. You called it, and that's it. New Lothrop, state champions of Division 7 for the second time in the last 3 years.
Final score, Division 7
Great job.
game.
A little bit more difficult because he's a right-handed quarterback rolling left. Ideally, you'd had him rolling to his right, but how about that man right there, Clint Galvis, what he's accomplished. We talk about becoming the new bully on the block. There's the bully right there, Clint Galvis, because he's just picked up his second state championship here, and he's been knocking on the door a few other times, so solid program.
Last year had a perfect season. They were knocked out in the regional round to Pewamo, Westphalia. They come back this year, cap off a perfect undefeated season. Congratulations to the Hornets of New Lothrop, who hang on 42-35. That's going to do it for our coverage of the Division 7 state championship game. We'll be back here on Fox Sports Detroit with our coverage of the D1 title game between West Bloomfield and Davison in 20 minutes from now. For Brooke Fletcher and my partner Rob Rubick, I'm Johnny Kane. Thanks for watching the MHSAA Football State Finals here on Fox Sports Detroit. Have a great afternoon.